All right. Let's see if this works. Are we live? It says we're live. I want to make sure
Tell us.
that we're live.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I assume we can trust it.
I think we're live.
Let's act as if we are.
If we're live,
I see waving from me
tell
10 seconds
us
ago.
that we are live. If we are live.
Oh, we got confirmation. Chris Jordan, Marcus Ghana, Javier
Leave a like
916,
for us being
Jack
live.
O'Brien, Aid, Dan, Quentin.
Oh, sweet.
Excellent.
Hello, citizens of the Reject Nation. We have not done a live stream in a very, very long time.
A quarter.
But it has been a week of comic book goodness.
It has.
And drama at the same time.
Yep.
So it started off with a Variety article, followed by a phenomenal Loki episode with a great, followed first by a phenomenal Gen V finale, and then a Loki episode, which was great.
And Invincible.
And then Invincible, and then a completely surprising, great Echo trailer at the same time. So it's just been kind of a crazy-ass week. Hold on, the chat's not updating properly. There we go.
No.
Oh, my God.
No. Now
there
it's
we go.
moving so fast.
Now
okay,
now that I hit
up.
the button, it's finally there. Okay,
I was
there
like,
we go.
there's 7 people in here.
Yeah. Anyway, before we get started, thank you so much, guys, for being here. You guys control the narrative of this stream, and we're trying to do live streams 2 at a time, unless it's like a movie time. That's why Juan's not here. So probably next time it'll be John and Coy. But in this moment in time, I want to say thank you for being here. Also, wait a minute. Something's wrong with the chat. Thank you, Dart Car, for the super chat. Yeah. For anyone who sends super chats or Streamlabs, it's a phenomenal way to support the channel, especially during the live stream, because playbacks on these are so finicky. And we do not end a stream until we go through every single one of them. Ideally, we'd like to keep this at 2 hours. But
He's got a dream.
Usually clocking at 3.
Yep, I believe in him.
That's our luck here. Hold on, I need to fix this. I need to fix this because this is not. There
the beginning of the stream is always just little tweaks.
Little
and
tweaks.
It's been 3 months.
Little tweaks
top
here
of
and there. Little tweaks here and there because we want you guys' comments to shine on screen here. Anyway, yeah, don't worry. I know the Attack on Titan finale episode's out. I'm going to cover that on our Patreon because covered anime on the main channel is kind of scary. MCU is fucked. Why is that hidden? Show that.
Show it. It's so obviously true.
Alrighty, well, before we go into anything here, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about, we do want to go over that Variety article that has been making the rounds. I've seen a lot of people being, oh my God, what? Did that just fucking happen?
Christopher
did you just
Whamhoff.
tip a $500? Holy shit, that has never happened in the history of Reject Nation. That is insanity. That's going to pay for Coy's time to be here for the next couple hours, right? Oh my God!
I'm only $2.50 an hour, so you got me for 2.
That means a lot. You know, like there's a lot of people who have been out of work lately who come on the channel, so
yeah.
I try to keep people employed here.
It truly does.
It's a big part of what we do here. Is like there's a whole conversation. That is nuts.
I'd say half of the Reject Nation on-camera staff has been stuck on strike.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say a good amount, and that turned into quite a conversation a few months ago. So a big part of it has been like, make sure I'm bringing people on. That's where you see a lot of them now. I'm way more on camera now.
Please let us do something.
So yeah, it's been great. I think, and one thing I do want to thank you guys for as well before we really go into anything is thank you for welcoming. It started off with like a few years ago it was like mainly just me, and then it was John and I, and then it was John, Coy, and Greg, and now there's like 10 of us. And I want to appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys for sincerely welcoming everyone onto the channel. It's really awesome to see. I love the expansion and how we're a big group. And Chris Whamhoff, thank you so much. Thank you everyone who's
so kind.
Contributed so far. Anyway, let's talk. We got some things we got to talk about.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through. We will go through the super chats. Don't worry, you got it. You got that.
Promise.
And we will go through the super chats, and we want to engage with all you guys in the comments and everything. So this Variety article, Coy.
Yeah.
I want to get this out of the way right now. I've seen some people who have already been like, "It's fake. It's fake. It's fake." And now, what did they go over in this Variety article?
A lot of news we've had for months.
What are some of the specifics?
The Blade has been in troubled production since it began, with some details and some rumors. They went through the Marvels having apparently a screening in Texas that was middling. The only 2 things out of those 2 that are somewhat new is the rumor of $100 million, which wasn't confirmed, and an unnamed source saying something which could have been literally like a YouTuber, an unnamed source. And then the Texas screening was specified as Texas. I think I'd only heard there was a screening, but now we know the state. And then there was stuff about basically Kevin Feige being stretched thin, which, spoiler alert, we've known for a few years. There was stuff about what else was in that article?
The Blade.
Echo being bad.
Someone just brought it up in the chat.
The trailer showed
about
greatness.
how Blade. One of the drafts was apparently
yeah
for women.
He was the fourth lead in his own script, but also I think that the phrasing on that particular part was like a source familiar with the scripts. That could literally be like nerd-rotic.
Yeah,
like that could just be some asshole.
It could be. The funny part about that article that I really, and this is one of the comments I saw go around, and I couldn't agree more with it, was none of it sounded new to me.
Nothing was new, and I do Capes and Cowls with Christian over in his channel, and the entire comments section on that video is like, why does Coy think none of this is new news?
Not.
Like there's nothing in it that's new. There's like details that augment, but I'm just so exhausted by like the stupidity of the internet, man.
Well, it's honestly, a lot of it is not new for us.
Sure.
Because we've heard it for like a year. Everything that we heard, like, oh, they might get Kang Out because Quantumania is underperforming and Jonathan Major's legal
problems. And people
problems.
don't need to keep up like we do, but they also need to understand that we do already know it. Like, I'm not saying they're dumb for not knowing it. I'm saying they're dumb for not understanding why it's not new. Like, it's a very, very annoying thing when people are like, just because you know this. I'm like, yeah, but I'm just quantifying that. They're trying to phrase it as negatively as possible, setting up the Marvels. It's phrased aggressively. It's putting out only bad things. And if you've seen that tweet that's going around that's like, the MCU is dead, the MCU is alive, the MCU is dead, like every other property, like that's what this is. It's just Marvel is putting out more content. Not all of it's working. They're less consistent, but they're by no means dead. The $800 million Guardians of the Galaxy was the last movie in theaters. Yeah. It's just such an ignorant concept to look at like the last 24 hours and be like, everything's on fire.
Well, to kind of see the perspective of why a lot of people have been I'm getting back to being used because I'm reading your comments at the same time while listening to Koi while managing the stream, and it's been a while since we've done this. And I appreciate it, though. I'd rather do it. Why would you call Nerdrotic an asshole?
Because I've normally heard horrible things about him.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. But
have you actually seen the channel? He's a brilliant guy. I don't know.
I thought I knew Tyrone Magnus was on this channel.
I don't know who Nerdrotic is.
Yeah, I just like YouTube's not a place I enjoy.
But the part about it is, I kind of liken it to what South Park did with the Panderverse. Have you seen that? The Panderverse. Now, the Panderverse special, what I thought was interesting about it, other than it being hilarious, is that a lot of that, I'm like, yeah, we've all heard this before, but because it's a little bit more on the mainstream side, because it's South Park, suddenly it's making the rounds. It's getting a bunch of attention. And I would say the same thing about Variety. It's because it's a more certified publication, you know, like they're reputable. And
that was Christian's take, was that like now it's a credible thing, but there were no credible sources. So like so it's like, someone with a big platform just said, I keep hearing. That doesn't change that. I keep hearing. So I personally, Winston, you know Winston Marshall, he said, I think the best assessment of it I've heard so far is it's like a like the Taylor's version of an album. It's like all the same information, but Taylor's version. It's like a culmination of all the stuff we've heard before, but re-released.
Yeah.
So it's like a remix. It's still the same information, and also it barely touches on any of the positive stuff. It definitely feels consciously negative. And to me, it's just when someone's not like when the Patriots lost a game, everyone celebrated way more when they were a dynasty thriving. When they lose a game now, no one talks about it. Like when Tom Brady was with Belichick, it was a huge, huge thing when they lost. Now they're not what they were. People just enjoy celebrating popular things not doing as well, but they keep missing. Like Echo and Loki were within 24 hours of each other. Guardians was the last movie in theaters. It's really just obnoxious that this is even news. It's because of the strike. It's because Marvel is popular. It's because the Marvel brand is not as strong as it was, but I think it can come back. And it's this tribalism of something is doing well. It's not something I enjoy as much. I'm a hate on it, and hate is way more popular on the internet because it's vulnerable to like something. It's very easy to say you hate something because it's safe. You can say like fuck blank, and then a lot of people jump on that blank with you. Whereas if you like are vulnerable enough to say I enjoy this thing, you can get attacked because like, oh, you stupid, you like blah blah blah.
Right.
So negativity is just going to spiral up. So Variety got their damn clicks that they wanted. It's a strike. They finally had something to talk about, but it wasn't anything new. And every time I talk about this thing, everyone's mad at me for saying it's not new.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is that, while it might not be exactly new, the part about it is I am likely to kind of lean towards the side is that a lot of this has been rumors we've heard forever. For example, like with Secret Wars and swapping out Kang with Doctor Doom. A lot of these rumors or quote unquote leaks, whatever you want to call it, because Variety is talking about it, it's more likely to be true now.
It's also,
you know what I mean?
It's also like okay.
Like how often is Variety wrong about that? I don't really know. I actually don't know.
I don't. I used to be a reputable trade. Now they're clickbait. But I haven't followed them in a while because they fell into the internet. But that said, it's like saying like spoiler alert: Romeo and Juliet die. Like
Well,
Secret Wars, you don't have to know the comics, but even just a wiki will say like he's on the cover of the comic. Like Doom, spoiler alert, is part of Secret Wars. So it's like Kang Dynasty, spoilers, will feature Kang. Like it's just so obvious.
I wanted to address this because Coy and I have talked briefly about this when the camera's not rolling. Because someone has normally, if it's, I'm going to address. Normally, I'm not going to like go out of my way to like talk about something that is a negative thing in the chat. But someone did say essentially, okay, Coy can't be moved on this. He secretly keeps attacking the article and reporter because they're saying something bad about his favorite thing, but it wasn't a hit piece. The thing I will state is that, and is not only a defense for Coy, it's also a kind of a statement for myself, is that we are actually not defending the MCU because a lot of it we heard were like, well, no, we agree with like everything
This
that's
needs
here.
to be fixed. This needs to be fixed.
The only thing about it was it's making the waves as if it's a bombshell.
Right.
And
It's
that's
not.
that's the part of it. It might sound pedantic, might sound nitpicky. It's more that, guys, this is not really a brand new piece of information here. We agree with all of it. Yeah, we know it's in disarray. We were not fans of Quantumania. What they're doing with Kang has not been exactly the clearest. Loki season 2, while a phenomenal season and one of the best things out of Marvel as of late, arguably the best thing of Marvel as of late, it has dipped in viewership. And I was thinking about it when I was on my hike today of why I just have to insert there that I worked out. Why
I haven't yet, so Greg wants to rub it in.
It was like why is Loki dipping? Is it MCU fatigue or what might it be? Because it was so huge season 1. The numbers on everyone's YouTube channels were bigger, ours included, and the viewership reportedly is not as big as season 1. And when you watch season 2, you don't need to watch the rest of the MCU of everything that happened in between to follow season 2. But I think that's where the problem has come in. Is because maybe there's a lot of people who thought I haven't been keeping up with Marvel.
Yeah.
So I can't watch season 2 right now.
Right, because people feel behind. I know people feel behind, like comics. When you like, how do I get to issue 700?
Yeah, but you don't need to watch any of the MCU stuff in order to watch season 2. But I think a lot of people have been programmed with the MCU to think that way, to view things that way.
Sure.
And I wonder how much of that has actually factored into why people. Because season 1 is beloved.
Right.
So people love season 1. It's a phenomenal season.
But it's also been long enough that people don't love it because it's popular to love it. It's also something whenever I say Loki's my favorite MCU show, there's a horde of people that go like, oh, I was just talking. I'm like, I'm sorry your attention span's that of a gnat. But a lot of people that have like read a book.
Of course, I'm dealing with Twitter a lot. Like, you can hear it in his tenor.
Oh, dude, I just hate
tone
society so much. That said, I think that anything that's loved gets hate within like 6 months, whereas it used to be a couple years. So like, I just don't think it's worth the experience of talking to the public about Marvel, because you're going to have two schools. You're going to have people that aggressively love it and won't see that it's flawed, or people that aggressively hate it that won't see that it's not as dead as people want to say it is.
Well, you see, like someone in the chat is saying, like, no, that's not it. The content is low quality, nothing to do with the connection or any of that. I could see people going, I'm not interested in the MCU anymore because the quality has been lower, but to immediately presume, but to apply that with Loki season 2, that's I'm saying isolate the situation. The story of Loki surprisingly feels separate, even though it seems very essential to the multiverse saga. It surprisingly feels like its own thing, even from season 1 to season 2.
Sure.
Like I said, you don't need to watch the other ones in between. So to immediately go, the quality of the MCU has been low, I'm not going to watch season 2. Is it the preconceived notion of connectivity, or is there a presumption that it's going to be a less... not a good quality episode of Marvel television because of how they've received Marvel lately? You know what I mean? Or do people just lose interest because we're sort of programmed to get seasons sooner than later?
It has been a couple of years. I also think there is, if someone doesn't like one of the properties, they might be out, and that's happening, more often than... if they made 5 properties and 1 was bad, that's a fifth of the time. If they make 10 properties and 2 are bad, it's still a fifth of the time, but people might be more likely to be out because of the abundance now.
Right. Well, that's our take on the article. We're going to go back to the chat in just a tiny bit because, there's other things that we definitely want to talk about.
Yeah. There's
We
plenty of
want to
good
talk
stuff.
about Loki theories, and like, while we know Marvel will
I keep
1,000%.
seeing people, guys. The reason I randomly picked a YouTuber that it's a random YouTuber that spouts hate. So Nerdrotic is just someone who I've seen thumbnails of. This is a person that likes to advertise negativity. I'm someone that doesn't think negativity has a place in pop culture because the world is actually on fire with real ramifications. So if you want to spend your time profiting off of art and making it about a negative, you have no respect from me. Like, the world out there beyond art is bad enough. I don't think there's any place in picking on actual individuals, in being, misogynistic, chauvinistic, and racist. I'm not saying this person is. I'm saying that type of YouTuber is. And I have no interest in people that really look for negativity instead of positivity and hone in on it. I hate this Variety article because it hones in on negativity that is somewhat there, but they make it bigger. And Variety was better than that. So this particular YouTuber or anyone like that, keep complaining that I don't like them. They're of an ilk, and I just have no respect for that type of person. They're vultures. They're cancer.
Well, I think the problem of why I don't know if it's the right problem, because I think the reason why is because initially how it came across to understand where it was coming from.
Sure. And I did just pick a person. I didn't know them well. I've seen their thumbnails. I apologize for...
Yeah, because not talking about the actual video content. I personally can't attest to it because I don't know.
I don't know their work. I know their thumbnails.
I don't know I personally don't know Neurotic's videos.
There's someone that 15 times was like, if you like this, you may like this. So I just saw enough of them that I was like, I don't want that. So apologies if you're an angel. I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, let's swing into some action here. Hey, late to the party. What's going on, buddy? That's right. You've divided our fan base here. That's what it is. But some people really agree with you. Some people don't.
It's the combo.
It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes, man. That's fandom for y'all.
Yeah, it's people. It's not just fandom. It's humanity. Like, we all aren't gonna like the same things. I don't like eggs or mayo.
Right.
You may love eggs and mayo.
This channel is free. We've literally been responding to comments here the whole time.
Throughout.
Going off of what you guys are saying. Let's go into I want to see what is going on in this.
Kadunk, if you judge someone off their thumbnails, is that not what they're trying to advertise their channel is about? That is what they're putting that out as what they are.
I love how this is spiraled.
It's so easy to be angry at the internet. Let's talk about something positive. Speaking of positivity,
there is no positivity, Coy. There's no positive. Okay, while I'm loading these. What did you watch Invincible season 2?
I haven't yet. I started it and I fell asleep, and I was like, "This is not the way to watch it."
What a terrible plug!
Well, no, it was 2 minutes.
I thought you were supposed to be shilling.
No, I literally.
What are you doing,
2
Coy?
minutes, and I was like, "Oh no,
I fell asleep.
I need to
2
be
minutes
awake
in.
for
What
something
did you
this good."
What did you just say?
I was 4 in the morning, and I was like, "We got a stream tomorrow. I need to watch this." And I was like, "This is not how I want to watch
why
this
are
homework."
you falling asleep at 4 in the morning?
So tired, Greg. That's probably why I'm grumpy today.
No, man.
But yeah, no, I really want to watch
legs
it
today. Look at my legs.
Ooh. He went for a hike. They're toned. They're seasoned. Also, to see all the comments at the beginning is like, look how good Greg's shape is in. And that's true, because he's been hiking.
Look how good Greg's shape.
He's been wearing a weighted vest. He's been crushing it.
I need to refresh this.
I want to watch Invincible. Not that we don't.
Okay, well, I saw Invincible season 2, episode 1. And I'll tell you, man, without spoiling anything for you guys, because I know I think the release dates of everything has been real odd. I don't know what's going on with studios.
I don't understand to have a finale the same day as a premiere.
I'm like, for a day and age where there's a constant conversation about superhero fatigue, like it's not a good idea for everyone to release everything all at once.
Yeah.
It's just not a good idea. Because if you spread it out, it won't feel as fatiguous, if that's a word.
Fatiguous?
It won't feel as just a bombastic and a cacophony of comic book properties, and it dilutes the appreciation per individual property, I feel, to do that. And a lot of people might go, I just watched Gen V and Loki. Do I really want to start up Invincible right now? Because Invincible, to me, is one of the best superhero shows that has ever existed. I love it, and I think I rewatched season 1 over the past couple of weeks, and then I started season 2, and I really think it is a solid follow-up. If it's melancholic, it's character-driven. The premiere, like watching season 1, brought me back to, because I didn't know the comics like you.
Yeah.
And watching the first episode was really interesting because it reminded me of my experience the first time I saw that episode, which you can catch here on the channel. I watched it. I was like, I don't get what the hype is about this show because it just kind of feels like a DC animated show.
Sure.
It's kid friendly. and then
it evolved very
then
quickly.
the ending gets insanely violent. I was like, oh yeah, that brilliant shock value.
Because the book is so like, what is happening, and then the
Yes.
show managed to do that with a different pace.
Yeah, and then watching this season, if you guys haven't started it, I know people are just getting around to it, so I don't want to go into details about it. It's really great and a solid. It only takes place a month after the first season. It's setting up new things that I find very exciting.
Does it play with timeline like the first season did?
Not exactly. Trailers did reveal that they will be dealing with the multiverse, and already they're doing it in a way that feels more compelling than a lot of things we've got in that have dealt with multiverse.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of multiversal stuff with especially one villain in the particular.
Okay, perfect.
So I assume that'll be this season's choice.
And I think Stephen Yeun as Mark Grayson is such an under-recognized. People always talk about like J.K. Simmons as Omni Man because of the character of Omni Man, but Stephen Yeun's performance as Mark Grayson is so good.
And he's in Thunderbolts, which I think is going to be interesting.
And Sterling K. Brown also is in whatchamacallit.
Sterling K. Brown's in
Sterling
season
K.
2?
Brown's one of the. I got it. I don't want
Man,
to
I love him.
But he's a main new character.
Okay,
Right,
amazing.
yeah.
That's the commercial.
That's all.
That's all I need to know.
But yeah, if you guys have not caught Invincible season 2, please go check it out. It's a massive endorsement for me. I've only seen the first episode, and other people have already seen the first 4, or because they divided into 2 parts, something like that.
I'm twitching. I just want to see it awake because it is like a more somber opening, and like I really am excited to see that. You don't want to watch something when you're exhausted that isn't fast paced. So I'm really excited to watch it like in an afternoon.
Yes, I agree. Anyway, let's get this off. I just want to thank some super chats that have come in here. Thank you guys who are contributing to the super chats. It means that we have Streamlabs as well right now. I know some people get mad when you do a live stream and then people you get super chats like.
All they talk about is
like,
well, we spent 20 minutes on the
chat. It's a part of YouTube.
chat.
It's a part of Twitch.
Yeah,
accept it, man. And we will. And we will just go. But we have to chat up here for a reason.
And we did 20 minutes. Of
Coy and I have
chat.
ADHD.
This helps us.
Actual diagnosed ADHD.
It's true.
So we know how to process multiple things at once.
It's one of the
strengths of ADHD.
It actually is. There's a lot of weaknesses, but this 2 screens is nice.
Let's see here. Dart Carr, thank you so much for kicking off the super chats. He's saying, how's it going? It's going well. Happy to be back doing a live stream. We haven't done a live stream in a while.
When was 3 months ago? August?
I think so, yeah. Speaking of live Dart Carr, I'm trying to plan for, I want to do a Real Rejects live event.
Dude, I'd love that.
We had Comic-Con, which went great. Coy was there for the last 20 minutes.
I made a cameo in the thing I tried to organize.
We have WonderCon. I've done a couple of live events at Flappers, and I want to do a Real Rejects live event where all of us all of us know how to do live shows, and I think live event of us is very different than what you might expect.
Oh yeah. I say fuck way more.
Yeah.
Also, like you can see like people's faces to names. I love seeing like random screen names and meeting them and being like, oh my god, it's you. I love live events.
We are live, dicks. We will go into some Loki season 2 theories in a second. Alex Donovan, glad to be here. Love the Echo trailer. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. The Echo trailer, Coy and I were even talking about a little bit after. Couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah, I think it's the first trailer in a while we both like finished filming and then like went into it more because we were like, what just happened?
My Thursday in particular was so much editing. I was editing like, I don't know, I must have edited for like 8-9 hours that day on top of filming like Loki, which is like the filming stuff is the shortest part of what I do here. And then I did.
It's like the iceberg. People don't see what's under the iceberg. Like that's why I don't run my YouTube page. I just post shorts because what Greg does is you see this much and it takes all of this. That's why my YouTube is just this.
But it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was going to bed and I texted Coy like, I'm gonna try to wake up and I'll let you know because I really had no interest in covering the Echo trailer.
Yeah, I brought it up. He's like, that's tomorrow with such like a okay.
And then I called him. I'm like, hey man, it's out. You just come over. I was like, screw it, because as I have anything to put together on YouTube, admittedly, we don't do them as often anymore.
No.
But admittedly, a trailer reaction is much shorter put together than like a TV or movie reaction, right? And I told him right after, like, that woke me up.
What was great
was good.
Usually, we used to do just trailers like 5 a week because there was so much more like midnights and 9 a.m.s and 6 a.m.s. And usually it'd be like, okay, wake up at 6 a.m. and be here. And I was always like, oh, God. And it was so hard. And this time it was like 9 a.m., casually just like, I'll get in the car, get over here. And then as soon as we sat down within 10 seconds of the actual trailer, it was like, I'm so glad we changed our entire day to make this work, because we had no intention of actually covering it. And I think that's why a lot of the channels didn't cover it. But I think that also speaks to this tone of the Marvel like brand right now. It's not the event it was. Like a Marvel trailer was like you plan your week around it. This one was like, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
And then when we did, it felt special again. It felt like the Netflix trailers. It felt big and important. So I'm really hoping the show is the trailer.
Well, see, I've seen this comment going around a lot too. Someone in the chat just said, see, we're talking about what's going on in the chat.
Oh, are we?
Guys, geez, people say we don't. Is that I just lost it? No, but someone just pointed
I'm
out.
paying attention. Oh no, I lost it.
Someone just pointed out how Secret Invasion trailer looked good.
Sure.
And this, and we say it towards the end of our video. You know, a lot of people might not stick around for the full trailer review portion, which is much longer than the reaction portion. So I get it. Is that my concern with this? I didn't say because like the Secret Invasion trailer was good, because a trailer can just be a great trailer.
Sure.
And I think a trailer is so important to selling something more than Rotten Tomatoes or anything. There's an argument to be made for that. A lot of people think it's Rotten Tomatoes. I honestly believe it's a trailer.
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel like Rotten Tomatoes doesn't mean jack shit. As long as the trailer is good enough to attract the fan base you're looking to attract.
Because everyone went, I'm not going to watch it too, oh my God,
yeah,
with a trailer.
Like, because you have to win over the MCU fans, and even the fans of MCU who had no interest in it, especially. And that is kind of the conversation where I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. So they might have actually gathered their fan base. Or even if it's crap, even if that's the reason why they're releasing it all at once, is because they don't have faith in it. Maybe. Who knows? I heard the Better Call Saul writers are involved in it. I've heard the people who worked on the Daredevil show are involved in it.
Some of the showrunners
that got me really excited. Someone in the chat, anyone, remind us to talk about what they said about Echo's powers not being the same. Did you read about that?
I did, but it doesn't bother me, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. I will say that, while the Secret Invasion trailer did look really great and the show ended up being lackluster, it's a very different kind of trailer at the same time in a different show. It doesn't feel like the same thing at all. And then you hear about the way they approach this one with getting Choctaw people involved, with just its actual narrative that they're telling. It's a very different story. And it doesn't seem, where Secret Invasion seemed interested in also setting up a bigger part of the MCU, this does not.
Yeah, it feels like it's and the Marvel Spotlight thing that just got announced. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really important for Marvel going forward. I mean, I've been saying for 5 years that I hope DC doesn't try to make everything connected. You can have an overarching thing, but if it's all mandatory, you'll have the Marvel problem, and you won't get to play. So I love the idea that Marvel's going to finally get to play and have things that are in the universe but not mandatory viewing, or have things that can connect but don't have to. And I think a Marvel Spotlight is going to allow a certain tone. I think between Echo being TVMA and Deadpool being R-rated, we're seeing that they are letting the universe mature. I think it's all very, very, like, these steps are all the steps you need to do if your universe is stagnating.
All righty. Christopher Whamoff.
Champion.
We have never, ever gotten a super chat. This is beyond generous. And it's funny that you just sent this super chat in, because I did see your Instagram message. I won't go into the details of what the Instagram message was about. I just saw it this morning. Today was the first day I got sleep in a few weeks. I had to take a medication pill to sleep, but I got sleep.
That's rough.
And I was going through my message requests. And Chris has been someone who has been part of our Patreon page for a very long time. I've gotten to know him. He's been on the news because he's one of those people who fights the good fight. He's been arrested for fighting the good fight.
Respect.
He likes to go against the injustices that are dealt with other people. He's extremely, obviously from here, you can see he's a generous guy, but he has helped contribute to people's lives in more ways than people who are on YouTube, people who are really, truly in need. Like, this is very generous. We are not necessarily in need of. There are people who are really struggling out there, and Chris Whamoff is one of those people who really goes out of his way to get hands-on and involved with that.
Respect,
so
man.
To see that you are going to share this generosity our way for people who are not as much of a need of it, obviously, that means a lot, dude. And thank you for being such a strong supporter for a very, 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 very long time. Thank you so much. I'll reply back to you as soon as the stream is done, dude. Robert Priester, thank you for the super chat. Says, have a great weekend. I hope so too, man.
I'd like that.
Got to catch up on some stuff. I have been playing Spider-Man 2 officially.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Uh,
I'm turning my phone off as soon as the stream is done. I'm going to go to the movie theater and just watch stuff like Killers of the Flower Moon, whatever else is next.
there you go.
Cannot wait to just have a veg day.
Christian Unpronounceable, welcome back. Good to see your name again, Christian. Louis Berry. Oh, this gives us an opportunity to talk about one of our main topics here.
Ooh.
Louis, I don't know what the limit is on Super Chat donations. Someone just asked. I was like, I didn't know.
I didn't know
you
500
could
was an
go
option.
as high as that. I didn't know that. That's kind of insane.
Thank you.
Louis Berry. Can't wait for Loki finale, and I think we're getting Thor and Deadpool setting up Deadpool 3 in the King Dynasty. Thank you for the super chat. The Loki finale, Coy, what are your predictions on how this is going to end? The only thing, I feel like my predictions are less than, so if you don't mind me just quickly saying
please,
what I
please.
think.
Let me ask you a question and then stop you and then say it.
Because my predictions are so obvious, because I was thinking it before the end of the last episode obviously set it up.
Yeah.
That they are going to be doing, and I think I said during the credits of our reaction, was that it's going to be a bit of a, you know what it's more like? I think the easiest way to latch your brains around it is there's this Dormammu, the Dormammu situation, or the Doctor Strange What If episode when he's just constantly trying to save
He's
Christine
here to bargain.
Palmer's, yeah, or in that episode where he's trying to save Christine Palmer, you know. And there's this episode actually in Doctor Who, the Peter Capaldi season, where he's just trying to get out of this situation he's trapped in, and he's there for like 1,000,000 years or something like that. And I think that's and Loki has often been compared to Doctor Who. It's like the more hyper fast-paced version of a Doctor Who, a little bit more diluted. Doctor Who is way more complicated, and I think that's what we're going to be dealing with. That whole season is going to be a big episode of them just repeating that over and over
Till they
over,
find their right.
like a crazy time loop. But where do you think it's going to end?
Okay, so I think it's going to end with basically Kang being in control of everything that's happened. I think that at some point we're going to find out that he wanted Victor Timely to get zoofed, whether or not that imbued the Kangs with power, whether or not that gave Victor Timely some sort of control of time. I think that his getting Mom Spaghetti'd was very conscious. I think that was a path that he set him on as soon as that book got handed. We have two Ouroboroses happening. We've got the OB Loki Ouroboros, and we've got the Ouroboros and Kang Ouroboros, and I think that all those things have been manipulated by He Who Remains / Kang from the jump. So I think we're going to end Season 2, Episode 6 with very much okay, this is how powerful this character is. Look at what he was able to do against the God of Stories, because Loki at the end of Episode 5 is the God of Stories. In Marvel Comics, Loki went from the God of Mischief to the God of Stories, and that was kind of their way of making him more of a positive figure, more of a he's still mischievous, but he's more benevolent. And I think basically now we've got Loki in this very powerful role. Like, he's able to basically control space-time. He can manipulate stories, but he's doing it benevolently. I think they're going to show how strong Kang is by having him overpower Loki to be like, hey, you just saw this character you've had since Season 1 level up. Look at how strong Kang is. I think it's a great way to, like, show a power dynamic, kind of like they did with the Infinity Stones. Like, look how strong this world is. The Infinity Stones have been nullified by the power of the TVA. So I think, likewise, that's going to be Kang's arc at the end, is we're going to meet a more powerful Kang. I do think there's going to be a bit of that timey-wimey. I do think there's going to be, the come-to-bargain concept, but I think that by the end, Loki is in some way running the TVA. Like, people think King of TVA, people think him behind that desk. I think that's possible, but I do think we're going to see him as the God of Stories, and I think that's a good way to use him or not going forward. I think that whether Tom Hiddleston wants to play in the greater MCU or not, that's a perfect way to have your cake and eat it too. Like, he can come back or he's tucked away over there. So, God of Stories element, Kang being in control of the Victor Timely choice and all those things. And I would say we do see a bit more of a powered Loki in the finale.
I really feel like we're going to get the reveal too that this has been all we've been watching in Season 2 has been He Who Remains Big Plan.
I definitely think so, because the camera angles, the voyeurism, the style of timing, like the moment in Episode 5 where Loki was able to kind of time jump himself in that little tiny bit of control, that still felt like he was being watched, and I still feel like that was Kang going like, hey, do this, hey, do this. So I think that's what's coming.
I think what you have definitely done is hopefully given Nerdrotic, whoever he
At
is.
least a couple
I've never
videos.
seen any of his videos. I hope they're able to clip this out.
I mean, there's so many videos of me shilling for the Marvels that have been clipped out by people that hate women. So by all means,
Oh, yeah, there's this one channel that clips out everyone, and yeah, it's.
I just wish I had the time they have to edit.
Just go. Thanks for the promotion.
Like they have more time to edit than I have time to edit my own videos. So I'm just jealous of their free time.
It's a lot of what I've seen happen a lot with our channel, which I find really, really funny. Like we're a channel that is often easy to judge off of a thumbnail and the fact that we do reactions.
Sure.
I'm really proud of this channel, and especially this year is quite a bit. I'm very proud of this channel of what we've been able to really transition into, what our main focus has been. We have more variety, I think.
100%.
Like even though like we mainly do reactions, I'm talking about like in terms of genre of what we cover. And honestly, like the videos take most of our videos take quite a long time. They take many hours to put together. But people often think just because we have the word reaction there that
that's all this is.
It's a lazy channel, you know.
Film,
but I'm like,
upload.
I can guarantee you, it's the furthest thing from lazy from the way we construct it. Just because the word reaction is like, what one thing that I'll go into it a little bit later. I had a whole rant that I did not post in this channel. but
I'm intrigued.
But yeah, but thank you for the super chat, Alex. Thank you, Alex, my friend. I love how this chat is you have kicked off something so insane.
It's given us SEO, right?
Maybe I don't know if it helps with playback,
guys,
but it's fun to watch you guys interact with each other.
I saw people defending Ben Shapiro, and I was like, "This is not my audience."
I don't know how this happened. Some people love what you use.
Yes.
Some people love
Fight.
this. Some people don't.
I'm embarrassing myself here by not liking people that hate women. Who do I think I am?
Let's see here, Alex. Hey, Coy. Really enjoyed your interview with Yuri. Would love to see more of those. Well, we got one in the can that we shot. There's a comp. I won't say who it is, but I can tell you some details. There's one that we shot pre-strike. You'll see Coy looks very different.
It was months ago.
Not as in shape, and also much more hair. And
have a beard.
but then a SAG strike happened, and it created a massive confusion. And we just want to respect the actor. He's a actor he's quite a respected actor. I'll keep it like that. But right now we can't post it. Even though it was shot pre-strike,
we're respecting.
We want to respect the choice of the actor.
I cannot wait.
Last thing we want to do is do another follow-up episode and just piss off someone.
Guys, we have another episode. No other actors want to come on the show.
You said you said we shot. And yeah, there's other one. When the SAG strike is over, we're hoping to really keep that as like at minimum a monthly thing, and then graduate to a bi-weekly, then a weekly, and then.
Yeah, if you guys want more of those, also let us know in the comments of that video if there's people you'd want to see. If you guys want to see more of those, please do share it. Tag us on socials. I'll like reshare your shares because that's the way we know that's something you want. So seeing it here is already amazing. So thank you. But I do I do a lot of cons for work. Like I talk to people that we love the art of, and I want to do that for you guys. So we need to know that that's what you want. So let us know and share and comment and stuff.
Yeah. Is it Roxy? What about Roxy?
I don't know what Roxy did. Oh, yeah, I interviewed Roxy, and we got to hold it. We can't let that go.
I do like this pick, and I'll tell you why, Laura, why I think Matt Smith is
there is no second part to Yuri's yet, but he wants a 2 through 7, so it's probably a thing.
Robert Prusser says again, thank you for the super chat, my friend. What is one of your guys' comfort movies?
Ooh.
Oh, I really love Wild Wild West. Right now I'm into comfort shows. I've been watching Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Respect.
I've really been loving Whose Line Is It Anyway, just revisiting that. And that's been my comfort show. What do you have a comfort movie or comfort show?
A Knight's Tale is a big one for me.
Nice.
A Knight's Tale gets on a lot. Mallrats, big one for me. I'm a big Lethal Weapon guy. I put on Lethal Weapon fairly often. Oh, like Halloween movies like Lost Boys and The Crow. Every time I watch Lost Boys or The Crow, I feel like a kid again. Like I'm so settled into like my whole childhood.
Yeah.
And then shows wise, I don't really rewatch TV a lot. Like it's so many hours.
I love just casual TV. It's been a while since I watched like a good drama on TV, honestly.
I really can't do casual like TV or movies well. Like except if I watched it as a kid. Like I don't enjoy background stuff. Like I can't really mess with reality TV or like I don't know. It just doesn't tickle that like I accomplished a thing. Yeah, like baking shows. I don't get it.
Dan V900, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. The second to last episode, Doom Patrol, dropped on Thursday alongside everything else. All right. Well, I need to catch up. I am like way behind on Doom Patrol. The one weird thing from the Variety article is the idea they pivot from Kang, literally the easiest character to recast. I think the part of it we've had a lot of discussions about it. I don't agree with the idea, I'm going to put this out there, of turning Ravonna into Kang. I've heard this many times. I don't agree with this at all. I think that would
No.
upset people. That sounds very panderverse.
It definitely does.
and just narrative wise, there's a version where you could kind of see it working.
They're just copying the plot of season 1, where
then-
it's like, that's your variant.
But then you're removing Ravonna at that
Yeah.
point, the actual Ravonna storyline, even more so.
And
it's-
Kang loving Ravonna is part of what kicks off the impetus of him being the conqueror.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like that. I think you can recast Kang if you need to come down to it. And sure, maybe Quantumania was not, but that okay. Here's the interesting thing about the perspective if Marvel really is having a bit of a fraught situation with Kang going, should we even before Jonathan Major legal problems, if we should steer away from Kang because not enough people show up for Quantumania. That's the problem with Marvel right there, is they didn't focus on making an Ant-Man movie.
Right.
If all their eggs in the basket were on to promote Kang the Conqueror, and not enough people showed up for that, and then they went, okay, well, no.
That's Kang's problem.
That is the problem
I
with
agree.
Marvel. It's not Kang necessarily. It's how you're going about your introduction with Kang or trying to emphasize or build him up. You know, like how they introduced him in Loki was brilliant because there was all this emphasis on who is behind the TVA. That's the entire emphasis of season 1 leading to its final 20 minutes, is you find out the truth of the TVA, you find out who the real creator is, and that's what made Kang menacing and so scary and this ultimate threat. And it's not, the answer wasn't put him in Quantumania and then judge and then do an algorithm data metric breakdown and then decide.
It's like Suits making
Audiences
decisions.
are not interested. Yeah,
It's
like, that's stupid.
Kevin, but actually,
Yeah.
it's like an algorithm of Kevin Feige, not Kevin Feige getting to say it.
It's a terrible way to judge if that is the way to base, if Kang is the way to go forward. Now, the other side of it is doing Secret Wars without Doom seems odd. Because
he's such a fundamental part of Battleworld and Secret Wars and
both
everything
versions
that's
of
setting
Secret
up.
Wars, yeah.
Like he's fundamental to all the Secret Wars. Like there's 3 different runs of Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So I do think Doom is coming. I do think Kang is in a tricky spot. I've heard, some interesting ideas about recasting that do work for me, especially with certain shows getting canceled. It seems like a show that I was really looking forward to because the lead actor got canceled, and he would be an excellent Kang. But they are in a tricky spot because they don't really. If they cancel this version of Kang and then it turns out that the Jonathan Majors accusations are unfounded and they have, absolute proof of his innocence, they're in a messy spot. And they're in a messy spot if he's proven guilty, and then they have an actor that is the title card of Avengers 5. So they're really in a rock and a hard place, and at the end of the day, these are movies, and it's way more important that justice is served for whatever happens in the real world. So I see why they're waiting. It's just such a messy spot because it's an entire universe surrounding one situation.
I'm hoping for OB was beyond her. Maybe. I do. People have been asking about this in the chat a lot. It will be interesting for this version of Loki to meet Thor.
I would love to see an emotionally mature Loki,
Yeah.
like a therapized Loki to meet Thor, because I think it'd be great closure for like Papa Thor, because he's in a different place in his life. It'd be great closure for Loki, who just wants to be loved, and I think this is a lovable Loki, and his relationship with Mobius shows he's more trustworthy. So I'd love that. It'd be like This Is Us, Asgardian edition.
Sam Spring. Thank you, Sam Spring, for the super chat. Love you too, buddy. Love your thumbnail. That's a great thumbnail.
That's so,
pic.
like,
Can you guys see
wholesome.
that? Is it on the screen? Yeah. Do you like
Wholesome.
this framing? You see how I adjusted the
us.
framing?
Look at us.
Yeah, adjusted everything.
Look at us.
Like how much bigger that is
Yeah.
of the super chats that are
you can see
highlighted.
that little
And
edge
then
of
you also
Homelander,
have
the
the way how
G-fuel.
it's perfectly split.
Yeah, and then
I
they can
spe-
see at the chat when we
John,
catch the chat.
John
as
was
best
helping
we
me out
can.
with it last night of just figuring out like
The
how do we
aesthetic.
crop everything? Yeah, so that way it just looks better when
And
people are
also
doing playback.
you see the 3
Yeah.
very different vibes. I'm into it.
Dak chats, thank you so much, my friend. Are you gonna do any more video games like Survivor? I got a lot of crap for just doing. It still landed at like 97 to 98% likes, so it's not that bad. But I definitely saw the negativity it spurred up in a Twitter thread about him when I was just covering the cutscenes for Spider-Man PS2. Like I covered all the cutscenes, which had some gameplay in there to help enhance story. And then this past week on some downtime, I've taken like an hour some days out of the week to just play Spider-Man 2 before I go to bed. So instead of watching TV to relax, I'm like, let me just play some Spider-Man 2. And I maybe clocked in total like 5 hours, and I've only just finished part 1 of the cutscenes reaction.
Whoa.
So I was like, you know what? I'm glad I.
There was no way to get it out.
Like, I just don't have. When I said I didn't have the time, like people don't realize how much, like editing Five Nights at Freddy movie reaction and then making the thumb, like the edit for that took me like almost 9 hours.
Yeah, people don't realize that just the insurmountable amount of time.
I can't sacrifice the whole channel just to cover one game.
Guys, everything's on pause. No Invincible reactions, nothing coming out, no news.
And a lot of times too, people don't realize that. Yeah, we'll have like prepper team who helps us edit. But we're also very much involved with the re-editing, and you know, like that's very time consuming as well. So, like, if all we did was film, yeah, of course I'd have the time.
Yeah,
but
that's not the channel.
That's really not the reality of the situation. Dak chats. So one of these days, I would like to. It would be great to be in a position one day where it could be. The thing is, when I game too, I am such a quiet gamer.
Oh yeah, same. I'm like actually in. It's
like
not like being reacted to.
Even yesterday, I asked my wife, like, "Hey, she's like watching shit on TikTok. I'm like, why don't you just watch out here while I'm playing games, and then we could talk." And I have the hardest.
You just hone in.
I hone in. I go quiet. All my anger stays internal.
I rarely game, but when I do, I'm like in a meditative state. Like that's
what
why
I say. That's
use
exactly what I say. And
that's why I like racing games, because I can like it literally feels like meditation.
The idea of doing with a camera pointed at me and streaming, I'm like, I don't know if I'd enjoy that.
Also, reactions are so dependent on my like energy level and mood. Like when we did the Loki 5 episode, the comments are so mad at me for talking so much, but it was because like it was my 9th thing of the day. Like I'd already done 2 shows, I'd already filmed a bunch of socials, and I'd gone to the dentist.
I'm okay
so
with
I was like twitchily like needing to have energy expunged.
No,
I'm not like that in gaming though, because that needs to be my time to like the energy is here in the thumbs.
Yeah. I like when you talk. Gives me something to cut away to, since we can only use 6 to 7 seconds at a time.
Helping Greg and helping my ego.
We need the commentary going. Plus, it helps us show that we're doing commentary. Brown's alive. Magnus and Roddick, you know me well. No, I'd gladly check out. I mean, it's not me promoting nerd. I've never seen a Nerdrotic video. I've heard him referenced before, and I really don't.
I just know his thumbnails are enough to know that. So actually, I want to bring, while we're here, there's a few people in the chat that keep saying like, "Blah, doesn't mean hate women." I'm saying that like, if you hate women, you're not gonna like the Marvels. But you might not like the Marvels even if you don't hate women. I'm saying there's a Venn diagram where that is a very strong contingent, and that seems obvious if you make your thumbnail, whoever you are, about the MCU or complaining about women. I'm assuming you've got a problem with women, but that doesn't mean that's why you don't like the Marvels. But I do think there's no way you'll like the Marvels. It's very obvious, and I think you're being intentionally daft, a few of you, but that's not what I'm saying, and I think you know it. I just think you want to be angry. And hey, therapy's gotten less expensive. Look into it.
Let's see here. Dan V900. Thank you again, Dan V900. Last year, Chad Stahelski said, I've seen your reactions to Mel Brooks comments. I did Blazing Saddles. Dan V900. Last year, Chad Stahelski said he wanted to do an edgy R-rated Blade film and spoke to Feige after John Wick 3. But they wanted to protect the brand. With Echo being TVMA, just do it. Go back to him ASAP. You know, I think with all the controversy Blade has garnered with and it's very apparent it's in disarray. When you announce Mahershala Ali being Blade with bringing the house down, that was your mic drop moment.
Yeah.
At that Comic-Con. I believe it was shortly after him winning an Oscar.
Yeah.
It was mic drop.
Fade to black. The hat is everything.
This is what happens when Marvel inherits Fox. How great is that, And it's been so many years.
Yeah.
It's so apparent there's problems happening. It's very, very apparent there's problems happening with Blade. I really think they would win. And Blade is exciting to be in the MCU because most of us don't know Blade from the comics. You got to be real with yourself. Most of us don't know Blade from the comics. Most of us know him from a really popular film franchise that existed prior.
Yep.
Which
wasn't advertised as a comic because most people didn't know Blade from the comic. Even then, it wasn't like a comic movie.
I think a way to garner a positive conversation around Blade. I never say I hope Marvel's listening. I never say that. This is one of the few,
I hope Marvel's listening.
One of the few times I hope they're listening. I think a way to save Blade's reputation prior to all this shit coming out is make it R-rated.
Yeah.
I think that would totally change the conversation around
Look what
the
happened
movie.
with Echo within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Echo went from that property that we heard only bad things about that seemingly got dumped in a one binge streak, and now all of a sudden it's like, wait, they made something that we've been asking for.
Yeah.
It looks totally different. It's on Hulu too. Like, you do that with Blade, and also the importance of Blade. Blade, to me, is the thing that really kicked off Marvel Comics in movie theaters. Spider-Man got a lot of acclaim. X-Men was obviously hugely important. There's a reason it's a franchise. But Blade was in 98. Blade preceded The Matrix. Blade was literally like all the badass dark trench coat slow-mo. Before The Matrix, Blade was hugely influential. And then 2 years later, we got X-Men. 3 years after Blade, we got Spider-Man. Blade, to me, is the unsung, like, OG. He's RZA, like, right? Like, hip-hop got huge, but RZA was making beats that inspired Wu-Tang's, like, ultimate success. Obviously, he's a part of Wu-Tang, too. But that led to hip-hop in the modern sense. He didn't invent hip-hop. But Blade, to me, is the invention of the modern superhero film, and it did it without talking about the comics. It did it without being interconnected to a shared universe, but it really planted those seeds. So, to me, Blade needs to come out swinging as good or better than anything else because it's a legacy character for comic movies, and to me, it's kind of the sister to X-Men. Like, Kevin Feige was so integral to making the X-Men work. Like, he was on set. He was a producer way back with, like, the Lauren Schuler Donner days. He was so important to that. I think that's why it's so important to Kevin Feige to get the X-Men right. And I think that, likewise, Blade needs to be just as important. So Blade and X-Men, I think, are the big comeback of everyone loving Marvel to scale again.
Well, that's in this conference, Meon, who's been an immense supporter of our channel, and I don't mean this. I'm just acknowledging a point that I know some people are making here. I don't want this to sound like I'm arguing with you, because I'm really not. Deadpool 3 is already rated R. That's not the same thing as making Blade rated R, because Deadpool 3 it is a sequel to an already R-rated franchise. This would be something new. Yeah, yes, a reboot, yes, whatever. So it's not 100% new. At the end of the day, it will be new within the MCU for a new franchise.
Yeah.
They're just inheriting a sequel with Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
They're inheriting a franchise. This is a new franchise for the MCU with Blade. And it speaks a different volume if you were to start off a new franchise with that, as opposed to just keeping the sequel going. Because, yeah, Deadpool 3 is just a completely different kind of film.
I think that's why Echo is such a big impact, is it's TVMA and it's new. So
right.
That feels bigger than maybe – I mean, I think when Daredevil gets announced as the new iteration, it should be TVMA. But I think Echo being a new character speaks loudly for what they're trying to do.
Deadshot, thank you so much, Deadshot. Glad to see you back on stream. I'm very excited with Echo, and it's what I've been saying on, I believe, show movies rating should depend on the characters or story you are making. 1,000%. With what we just talked about, our rating grittiness does not equate to good. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You know,
ask the 2000s when everything was gritty and edgy and R-rated.
Secret Invasion would go a little bit harsher in moments than you might expect.
Yeah.
Didn't equate to a good show. Hellboy was rebooted for an R rating. Didn't equate to a better movie than the Del Toro versions. There's a couple people on the channel who haven't seen the Del Toro movies, I found out.
Whoa.
Yo, react.
No way.
Yeah, so I don't think it equates to that. I'm hoping Echo is good. It's the narrative around it preceding its trailer debut is concerning. It is.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like there is a lack of faith to go from weekly to dumping it. It just sounds like they kind of want people to forget about it. Moving it to January, which is just kind of associated with being a shit month.
Yeah.
Even though the conversation's slightly changing around that, but for the longest time it has been. So yeah, I hope it's good. I'm glad to see you back on stream. Yeah, I love we haven't streamed in a while, but I love streaming. You know, the thing is, like, when we're editing,
the dude that was bothering me because I thought he had an opinion is defending catcalling.
Wow, that's a very strong whataboutism.
I literally was like, maybe I've offended someone that has an opinion worth acknowledging. And then he said that, and I was like, this person doesn't even merit breathing.
That's a weird.
That's a man, as you were.
This is such a strange whataboutism. Is catcalling worse than being hunted by a military? Well,
is being harassed and assaulted better than being dead? I think so. I just I started to feel bad because they seemed so offended by my worldview, and I was starting to be like, maybe I am getting a little like too tribal in my thinking. And then this guy says this, and I was like, I feel way better immediately. Oh God, thank you, Skylar, for making me feel better about myself. Sorry, I interrupted. That was amazing.
That's really funny.
Made me so happy.
Okay.
But yes,
I'm happy to be streaming, and with Nick Alexander, thank you so much for this super chat as well. Sorry, Coy, we do have to move on.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm gleeful.
I have missed these live streams. Can't listen now, but we'll catch a bit later. Thank you, probably. Well, Nick Alexander, I hope you catch it. We're reading your super chat right now.
Thank you.
Especially a big part of doing the videos is a lot of times when I'm filming, especially for my end. With everyone else here, they mainly just have to focus on being on camera. And I've been lately letting the other hosts be a little bit aware of how the editing goes. Like I like that we have the commentary during the reactions, and then I kind of encourage it a little bit more, to speak more what's on your mind. And the thing is, when I'm filming, I have to simultaneously be completely committed to two places at once. Be in the moment so I can express how I'm feeling and thinking based off whatever we're watching if we're doing a reaction.
Yeah.
If it's a reaction specifically. Secondly, I'm thinking about the edit.
Yeah, and that's hard to be present and also in the future.
And then so doing a live stream is essentially a live podcast where it's very interactive with you guys. So I love I personally love doing live streams.
Yeah.
And so I want to do a live show again, which a live show has become like a live
which
comedy
is
show.
So funny to me because it's Greg in the beginning was like, I don't know, like, is the live thing like the right thing? Like, it wasn't like he was against it, but there was definitely like an apprehension. And each time we do one, I see Greg like light up a little bit more. And now like to hear him be like, let's do one. Like him being proactive makes me so happy because like Greg is so good with people. So it makes me so happy that he's like, I don't have to convince him. He's like, this is what I want. Makes me.
I appreciate it. And Coy was one of the big champions for us doing live events. And I was very, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you guys, for those who saw the podcast he did with Yuri, when we were first doing test setups with mics, and it was a very different set, and we were doing test setups and everything. We were like, let's just shoot a test, and it's like 20 minutes long, and it's Coy trying to convince me to do WonderCon, and I did because I didn't want to do WonderCon, and I know WonderCon has been one of the highlights of the year, and I really didn't want to do WonderCon. And it's Coy like actively convincing me on camera to do WonderCon.
And that was when you decided. I saw the shift on footage. I was
like, fine, I'll do it, whatever.
Oh, man. Now, once we start doing lives, that'll be the trailer for
him. Nico Hotel. I know we got we're at the top here. I know we got more, but we're going to take a tiny little bit of a break here. Not a break from the stream.
Into the live.
Nico Odell. Y'all seen the cookie? Thank you for the super chat. Y'all seen the cooking show Pressure Cooker on Netflix? One contestant, Mike, has to be related to Coy. They talk similarly and sound like cousins. I've never met someone who I thought this reminds me of Coy Jandro. Haven't seen it yet.
I've my like manic cadence and my brain's just really loud, and I feel like I'm like a record skipping. Like I don't assemble sentences or phrase things in a way I've never met anyone else do. There's occasionally people with my mania, like I think Jonathan Tucker in certain roles feels like me, and I think that like certain people occasionally look like me, but I'm always fascinated by seeing the people that remind people of me, because then I watch it and I'm like, is that what I'm like to some people? So I will check this fellow out, and I appreciate the love.
Mellow Willow? What's up, buddy? I don't think I've seen your name here before. Whoa. Now that gets you banned, motherfucker.
Cosigned.
Mellow Willow.
That's where I like that. That's where we both draw the line. Oh yeah, that's my comfort show.
You can say whatever you want.
I watch Friends.
But you could. It's all.
That's my comfort show is Friends. I forgot I do have.
I've been wanting to put on Friends.
Yeah.
I haven't found. It's a little bit hard for me right now.
I've been watching a lot of bloopers.
Yeah. I'm just gonna cry the whole time. I just know me too well now to know I'm just gonna cry the whole time.
That might be what helps though.
Yeah.
Like the bloopers have been helping me because I get to see little moments of him and Chandler intermixed, and that's been helpful. But yeah, that's my comfort show.
I could do a whole podcast about why Friends is so important in my life, like beyond Chandler but Chandler's journey specifically. Out of any character, he's one of the characters who grew the most in ways that were kind of subtle throughout the show. I won't go into it.
No, I'm with you, though.
I'm saying that like he's a character who really grew a lot and throughout it, and even my personal life growth is more out of any Friends character is more akin to his.
Right.
Yeah. So
that was one of the first things you and I talked about ever.
Yeah.
You and I on Screen Junkies. You and I talked about Friends like 8 years ago.
That's a really nice compliment, Jay. Thank you. Mellow Willow, Real Rejects, F and Rock, eggs and mayo. Yes, eggs and mayo. What?
What?
Am I missing a joke here?
Oh, when I said earlier, eggs and mayo are gross.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
I missed that.
eggs and mayo, indeed. Mellow Willow, I appreciate you.
Oh, dude, Coy, check out this thing that John and I figured out yesterday to
Oh,
speed
oh.
up switching this. 'Cause
Oh.
I saw we got some Streamlabs. Oh, look at that, buddy. Before Streamlabs. Whoa, what happened to the chat? What happened to the chat? Did I hit the wrong button?
You were like, oh,
My
how
bad.
speedy.
Sorry,
There it
didn't
is.
make you guys go away. We do have a really generous Streamlab one here from Gene Jeter TV. Oh my God! Let me shout it out. Let me shout out Gene Jeter TV. He recently put together a crazy YouTube video that is on his YouTube channel. It's a Halloween one. Let me get the exact title here. I want to make sure I don't want to botch this. John, you linked it wrong, man. It just goes to his channel. It's supposed to go to the video.
On the channel.
John, please, what have you done? John.
The only one here that can't defend himself.
Epic party.
Let's blame
You
him.
only go after people if they're not
When they're
around
not
to
in the
defend
room.
themselves.
That's
That's the
true.
way you win.
Ask anyone in the live chat.
He says, thank you, guys. Well, thank you, buddy. Go check out his YouTube channel. He's a very experimental artist, needless to say. Strange, eccentric choices, a lot of oddities, but overall an extremely, extremely nice guy. And I love a nice artist more than anyone else in a day where you're constantly in combat with a lot of egos and wondering, do I want to engage? do I want to do this right now? Or do I just yes and move on with my life and get the fuck out of this conversation? Because that is that is how most of my days go.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Liking things is cool.
Yeah,
it's not as cool as it used to be, but it is cool.
That is a bold the live stream with the whole Reject team. That's probably a live event because I don't know if we have enough space or mics.
Yeah, Zim, I know there's channels that call us Disney. I've heard my whole life. Lone Wolf, and I know about the channel you're talking about.
What do they call us?
I appreciate the promotion. What I wanted to say about, I forgot what they're called.
You were on a tangent.
What is that channel called? Name it down below. I know some of you guys must know what that channel is.
Is there a channel about the Real Rejects channel?
No. It's that thing that you were lumped into with the gob, something like that, where they like clip out like reactors and call them shills and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I was so honored, man.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that channel in particular, or stuff like that, and I've seen it happen many times. Not all the time. A lot of people will just judge us off our thumbnail. A lot of people might just judge us off the fact we do
I
reactions.
judge people off their thumbnail because it is an assessment of the channel.
Yeah, and people will do that with us, thinking like all videos are exactly the same or that we instantly like something.
Sure.
A lot of times I'm like, the thumbnail might make it look that way, but it's really just the biggest
we need
expression.
you to click.
It's the biggest expression. So that's why I chose it. But no, a lot of the time, though, that I've seen people go, I came here, people talk shit about you, and I came here to hate on you.
Yes.
But then I saw Georgette actually like the video. Now, it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
But I find it really funny when someone comes here because they heard
want to be angry and
negatively
they're like, I like this
speaking
channel.
about us, and then was like, you know what? You guys are actually different than I expected.
If it gets people here. My thing's
So,
always
like,
just
thanks.
time because, like, I don't know if the people that are editing those videos realize that they're going to die because everyone dies or not. But, like, whenever I'm editing, I'm always, like, aware that I've spent an hour shaping something. And, like, if I'm shaping something just to shit on something, that means I have to love it at least somewhat.
Of course.
It's always so flattering when someone, like, edits me. So I really, please, whoever you are, please, I want the Marvel sequel because your Captain Marvel coverage of me was amazing. I watch it, like, whenever I'm sad. You can ask my girlfriend. I literally watched it, and she was filming me laughing with glee about, like, the edit and the choices. So give me another.
Our Dread reaction is absolutely one of my favorites.
Dude, that was
we've
such
done
a
this
good
year.
day.
1,000%.
Like, what? And we had a great run between
think-
that and
I think Dread, RoboCop, and funny enough, the movie Missing have been my favorite. Have been my favorite reactions.
well, you and I did Dread, RoboCop right into Equalizer, and, like, that was a run, man.
Equalizer is pretty great. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great. Like, there's been some reactions we've done where like, oh man, I did not like that movie.
Yeah, but overall, we've had some good picks.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's been great. Damn, we are behind yet again. Let me see here. Oh yeah, Lebowski, 1,000%. I know we talked about it in the beginning of the stream. Maybe you're just hopping in now, but way more excited for Echo now more than ever. 1,000%. And I'm very, very much excited. I like Den of Nerds. I do. I know I've gotten crap for liking Denim Nerds, but I like Denim Nerds.
Yeah, I had nothing.
Denim Nerds, I know, has gotten in some shit and he's gotten called out by James Gunn for some stuff, but he owns up to stuff a lot of the time. And you know, I also think that in the day and age where you get like a lot of scoopers or people who theorize, I think he's actually pretty good at that stuff. And yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I've shared his stuff because I've always liked his accountability.
I want to say, I think this is really important, especially with what I'm seeing going on in the chat right now. It is really important to be able to have a conversation. Like, it sounds odd and simple to say something like that. It's really important. You know, I have just last week. Now, I'll level with you guys. I identify as a liberal. I don't want to get political here. I do. I identify as a liberal. It doesn't mean I can't talk with someone who's Republican. Two of the closest people in my life who they're neighbors of mine, and they are the sweetest. You've met them. They're
love them, dude. They're
the
so
sweetest
great.
human beings you will ever meet. And
I go out of my way to talk to them if they're outside. Like when I leave here, I'm like, I gotta.
Super sweet guys, and I love them. And there's been a long time. There's been a very, very long time. I wonder what that meant.
Me too.
I knew they were Republican. We just avoided talking about politics.
Mm.
And then the last couple of times we hung out, we've talked significantly about politics. And we clearly have extremely different point of views on a lot of things.
Sure.
With what's going on currently in the world, with certain situations that, you know, whatnot. There's a lot of things that, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I still see them and I hug them every time. And I love to chat with them and we joke about our differences.
Yeah.
You know, I am not religious. I am not a religious human being.
Yeah.
And yet I could still watch something that was critically panned like Father Stew.
Sure.
And go, I found that very moving.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, you know. And
I saw Passion twice in theaters, and you know where I stand in religion. Like, it's still a moving story.
So what I'm saying is that we're fandom shit. We're dealing with geekdom stuff. You know, we're dealing with fictional storytelling, and while business is a big part of it, at the end, and I know how important these. I just did a video about like why Matthew Perry's performance changed my life, and I really meant it. Absolutely. I'm saying though that in a day and age with the internet, where it's just people just spew vitriol and bile left and right, I think it is important to have a conversation and to be able to just talk about another side without it being fucking just trying to like kill each other.
Yeah. I mean, we don't survive
you know?
if that's the case. A lot of people like say that I cause tribalism and I cause like hate. It's just like I identify as left leaning, but I have strong negative feelings towards the far left and the far right. It's just the far right, in my opinion, has things that harm certain people more directly, and the far left has things that harm people very directly, but it's so violent, the far ends of either spectrum. So I do think that like tribalism is a problem, and I do think that I at times fall into causing more of it because I'm very, very opinionated. But that's what I do for a living, is I give my opinion. I will always try to listen, but there is a threshold. If you say enough things that I patently disagree with, I'm not going to value your opinion about anything. Yeah. Like, if I see that you are overtly racist, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, and that it can happen where you're subconsciously misogynistic, where you're subconsciously bigoted because you're raised a certain way. But if I hear enough out of you that I think you diametrically oppose my worldview, there is a time that I stop listening or caring about your opinion, and that can cause tribalism. But there's so many hours in the day, there's only so many days in your life, and there's only so much bandwidth you have to tolerate hate and violence. So I do think we should actively listen to people. I do think we should actively try to find a middle ground. But I also think that some people try to be far gone. Some people try to be stuck in their ways. And it's really hard when you're dealing with things that are important to a lot of people, like how Greg feels about Matthew Perry, how I feel about comic books and movies, how like, to me, this is the closest thing I'll ever identify with as religion. To me, like, the Bible and comic books are the same thing. They're both fictional stories with a moral compass. I want people to read comic books to be driven to be better people. Some people want to be reading the Bible to be driven to be better people. To me, there is absolutely no difference. And just like with the Bible, it causes a lot of fighting. As long as you're not reading your scripture and it causing you to be violent, we're cool. But the second you decide to make your love of something mean someone else's love of something is lesser, or your love of something causing you to hate someone else because they don't follow that same book, then we got a problem. So as long as you're about loving stuff, loving people, seeing people as equal, seeing people as wanting to succeed, and thriving in positivity, we're cool no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. But the second you got a problem with someone because you're brainwashed into thinking they're blank, we're going to catch hands, verbally or physically. So I just, love people. It's that simple. And the internet is so full of hate. I'm more full of hate, and it's hard for me. So much love to everyone that's been cool, and much fuck you to this Skylar guy. He's still going.
Till Skylar attacks me. I'm okay with it. That's the way I roll. Oh, wait. I had this all set up wrong. There we go. But thank you guys. Just had to say that because I know having a nuanced conversation via with people on a chat and the internet is it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's much easier for me to say, oh, yeah, my neighbors who I can sit down with for an hour and talk. Or I'll say it right now, or even Tyrone Magnus, who I have had very big disagreements, conversations on, but it never got ugly when talking with him about some stuff we disagreed on. Being able to just have a conversation in person is obviously exceptionally different than this,
Yeah.
Dan V900, thank you so much again. Are there plans to ever do more DC animated film reactions? See, when you're editing a video, you're just like, I don't got time for this, move on. but Dan V900, are there plans to ever do more DC animated film reactions, or were the views too low? I must once again recommend Justice League: The New Frontier is a great speech about uniting no matter the side as heroes. Yeah, I see some people don't understand, and I'll take a moment to explain this, is that, yeah, the film reactions on those really started to go down. We weren't breaking even. If I'm not editing, we have the prepper people editing, and then usually it's myself or John who are working on the re-edit for something like that, right? And the thing about it was we just were not even breaking even on it anymore. And we had to, it was we're putting a lot of time here. And
it is a lot of time.
I'm glad I could employ Coy for that. And I'm glad the prepper people could be employed. But we're they're not making any. We're in the negatives now.
Yeah.
So this doesn't make any sense anymore to do it. So and I kept trying. We tried it out for a while longer, even though it was
past the point we would have usually stopped because people are passionate.
It's not panic attack where you're one video, whatever, you know. But then when you're it's happening consistently,
Yeah.
And I think you guys did past the point of the DC animated movies where the interest started going down.
And we tried. We did new ones, we did old ones.
I don't think it was anything to do with Coy and John. I think it was just what the movies became, or what was left. But you never know. I mean, if they start to pick up, it can open the door for conversation.
And maybe when Superman's coming out, we can throw on a Superman. Something you know what I mean? If something, but as of now, we're doing as much action movie stuff and stuff that's moving and grooving.
Yeah, because it's always about here is always about the middle ground of what will the audience be interested in. Of course, I think it's a lie that any YouTuber says that they don't care about views. Of course you care about views. When it's your livelihood, you care about views. At the same time, I'm also to be frank with you guys, it's I also really care about liking what we do at the same time. It sounds weird. There are some things that we were I wasn't there's a time we were doing Try Not to Laughs, and they were easy ass views, but I didn't like doing them, and so I stopped doing them. Sure. It got to a point where I was I don't really enjoy this. I don't really feel like there's anything fulfilling we're doing about a Try Not to Laugh challenge.
Yeah,
maybe a once in a blue moon, but more often than not, I was doing this consistently. Just I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of it.
And I think that's important because it's inauthentic to the rest of the stuff that you like on the channel. Because then if you're trying to like stuff you don't like,
yeah. And very recently, I turned down. There's sometimes you get these brand deals, which I really appreciate getting because it allows me to keep paying the other people who come on here or help out with the channel. And there was something that happened very recent where sometimes with a certain brand deal, you got to get a certain view count required, and you got to tell them what it is. And I realized, kind of just going through averages on views, I was I could agree to this, and I could just make a couple more videos, and I had to tell them that this is going to make me not like doing the channel. Sure, I can get more money from this brand by agreeing to this, but I'd rather take less if that means I can still enjoy making the videos we make.
Right.
So it always has to be in the middle here. Will it get some views? Of course that matters. Any YouTuber who tells you that, maybe there are those who really don't give a shit. I'm not going to say there aren't. And sometimes I do a video once in a while, Actually, yeah, I'd say everyone's like Saw. I was like, I just enjoyed
It's
watching
fun.
it. Just let them do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not really getting views. It's fun to watch. Let them do it. And then sometimes you're just like, I got to keep people employed, so just let them do it. Yeah, it's just fuck it. A lot of times it is about meeting the middle ground of like what will get enough views, and then also are we interested in doing it? That's a very important factor.
'Cause that's also part of the brand is what we're putting out, like what we want to be, getting the word out about. So I think that's important too.
We'll let that show. There we go.
Thank you, Fly Swada.
That's the problem with these showing hides.
So many people came at me like I won't listen to people if they don't agree with me. I literally went on a longer than I wanted to rant about there's a threshold, but I want to listen to people. Again, I feel like education and therapy are underutilized in this country.
We have not talked yet about Gen V. We have to talk about.
Oh yes,
Jaden Stevens. Hey, Greg and Coy. Love the channel. Thank you for the super chat. I'm really enjoying Loki season 2, but I do find some faults with the way Sylvie isn't really taking accountability. Agreed. That was one of the first things I was saying.
Yeah, he's been saying that since 2, 3, from the beginning.
Ever since the McDonald's episode, the second one, I was like, no accountability.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed in episode 5. We're about to end the show.
It loses the gray of the conversation.
It really does. It loses the impact of the gray of the finale of season 1. Because that was nuanced as fuck.
Yeah, and I think one thing I often credit Loki with is how nuanced it is.
Yeah.
And to me, some of the nuance does get lost with Sylvie.
Yeah.
If anything, at everyone's that feel like, I see a lot of the intent with Sylvie, but I think a lot of it is thinly written.
I agree.
And that is one of the parts of it that is like,
and it's so close to being like, we've given like 3 notes in some of our reviews where we're like, if they just did this, and if we're thinking of it and we're in round 1 of the writer's room of the conversation, you know what I mean? They go through multiple drafts. They like dive into it. So if we're coming up with stuff round 1, it would be nice.
Yeah. Nuance is the key word.
Nuance is gold. And that's what I think that the good MCU properties, TV or film, have had. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did well because there was nuance. I think, Loki does well because there's nuance. There is some poorly written Marvel. And maybe this will help the people that are so angry at me in the chat understand. I don't love the first Captain Marvel movie. I don't think it is very nuanced. I think the twist is very pandering and really, really like in your face from the beginning. It's not a good twist. It's very mustache twirling. I don't think the first Captain Marvel earned its $1 billion from the movie. I think it was in between, 2 Avengers films, and I think it got a lot of love for a lot of things that it didn't quite deserve. That being said, nothing I have against the first Captain Marvel movie has anything to do with, Brie Larson, has anything to do with the fact that it's a female superhero. My issue is people that have those issues with the movie versus the issues that I think have some nuance to them. I'm excited for the Marvels because I'm a big Nia DaCosta fan. I'm excited for the Marvels because I think Brie Larson has within her the ability to play the Captain Marvel that I feel like she can be. I don't feel like Brie Larson played Carol Danvers in the first movie, to me, how I interpret the character. So I'm excited for the Marvels. If I don't like it, it'll have, unless something happens in the movie that I haven't seen, anything to do with those things that bother me about those type of YouTube channels. So that's, I think, the difference in what I perceive certain elements of the internet versus my take on liking or disliking a movie. Captain Marvel 1 is in my bottom 5 Marvel films. Hard stop.
Yeah, when Coy starts talking, I start refreshing things.
Here to help, Greg. Here to help him. Now he's the guy in the chair. But yeah, the nuance is important.
All right, now we got to start getting better at quality efficient. This is why we haven't streamed in a long time, because this is what happens.
This is what happens.
We end up talking for way too long.
I've also antagonized the chat more than normal, which I apologize for.
Oh, man, you've become a polarizing figure.
Good.
Great time to launch your new show.
Yeah! Hey, it'll get comments. They'll be yelling at me. It'll drive things up.
You're going to be like, Amon Vellani's going to want to come on the channel and be like, I didn't like what you had to say about Nerdrotic.
Man, there's a clip out.
I actually agree with everything Nerdrotic has.
Hey, and maybe she does. Maybe he's great.
How ironic would that be?
Dude.
The whole Marvel cast is like, actually.
Huge fans.
Nerdrotic's got a lot of
Coy should really not just look at his thumbnails. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's nuance there.
There might be.
There might be.
You never know. Sometimes people just do shit together.
He's the co-host of this episode.
Every once in a while, I'll see. I mean, I've given a lot of the channels a peek of things that I I always give a channel an actual shot. I think it's important for me personally. Like I respect if you're like you see the conversation. A lot of people can look at the conversation. It ignites.
Yeah.
You know, and then you could kind of see the effect that said person, public figure, whatever it is, might have on people. You know. So if you don't want to watch, I get it. But
you know, I'm like a Rogan fan. Like I like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I was watching Joe Rogan and Russell Brand because I like those were two of my guys for years.
Right.
And as I was watching it, all the assault allegations for Russell Brand were happening like live. Like literally, I was watching that episode, and then Twitter was blowing up, and he was trending, and I was like, I keep trying to understand, and it was so like a great microcosm of me just like trying to reach across the aisle. I still love what Rogan attempts to do with having like all voices on a channel. It's just very funny that like every time I try to do what you're describing, I get like a swift kick in the nuts.
Let's see here. Okay, Ben 10. Ben 10. Hey,
Ben 10. Hey Yuri, hope you're well.
Half. Hey, why is American box office so important? I don't see your other half. And 2, when are you judging a film's success? Honestly, I'm not your go-to guy to give a clear answer of why. I mean, American box, maybe because that's where cinema became cinema. I don't think that's fucking true, actually. I feel like cinema like came from Germany or something. I don't remember that.
Or like America versus other box office? Or why to Americans is box office so important?
I think why is American box office so important?
Well, I
mean, it is the hub of where most movies make their
I think Hollywood.
I
think like Hollywood films, the box office is important to Hollywood to know like what we're doing for the audience that starts here. I think obviously Bollywood has a huge market. I didn't know they played films like 18 hours a day.
Yeah, I know.
They like start at like 6 a.m. and go to like 2.
I believe Bollywood's bigger than American. But I don't know. It's something about the American dollar, which keeps going down in value.
Which is that's
I personally can only give a theory. I'm by no means an expert who could be.
But I think box office is just important because the business side of show business. So if the question's like box office in general, I think it's just like if you're going to run a business, it has to stay afloat. I do worry that the Hollywood accounting is a very big issue. Like we just had an article come out about another movie that made $500 million but only profited 55. So the people with back end points got like 7 cents. There are issues there, but I mean box office. It's kind of like we were saying with clicks on YouTube. You have to, in a business, stay afloat to keep making things. So it sucks that art has to be so commodified, but in the case of movies, it is a commodified art.
Oh yeah, no, Matt Colton, I agree. I mean, I watch Dan Merle every week. I think it's crazy. Like Dan Merle's one of those people who I used to have it with Coy. Now I'm used to.
Yeah.
Where I would get around. It happens to be as I Dan. I've literally had like one-on-one movie fights with Dan. I've had to experience with like doing stuff on camera with Dan. Talked to him plenty of times off camera. But I watch him so much that whenever I see him, like, Dan, I'm not used to you.
That's so funny.
I forget that, like, you'll see me and know who I am, and I forget that. Yeah.
It was wicked funny when I shaved my head. Greg had this, like, double take of, like, it's Coy from the internet.
Yeah.
It was so funny that I saw his brain go to, like, when he didn't know me. Like, I was in the room as old 2018 me.
Is the Streamlabs one wrong?
I don't know.
That's a great question with Coy Jandro.
Oh, the show.
Let me try it out. I think it's right.
I mean, have we gotten? Oh, we haven't gotten any.
Yeah, we have. Definitely.
Is this Streamlabs?
Yeah.
Which one did we get?
Because Peter, we read.
Yeah,
it.
That's October 24th.
Oh, did I read an old one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I read an old ass one.
I think the Streamlabs is broken.
I read an old ass one
because it's currently November.
My bad.
That was a week ago. Oh wait,
we got
there's
one from Michael Mack.
So he got through.
Okay, I don't understand.
Well, that's weird. All right, try it again. Check the tapes.
I don't fucking know.
All right.
I don't know, guys. I'm literally copying and pasting it, but I appreciate you trying.
That's
nice to know you tried.
Sweet.
But no, you guys have been so fucking generous today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's see here. Let me try it again. All right, it's the same link. It's the same fucking link.
Weird.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I do miss movie fights.
Yeah, me too, man. That show was great. I'm doing I got to talk to you after. There's a movie fight-ish thing coming up.
Oh, nice. Beating up some homeless people on the street later.
Yeah, I got to talk to you about it. Very important.
With my point.
You just have to listen to my point of view.
Pingus is saying, thank you, Pingus, for the super chat. Hey, guys, I hope your day is... Hold on, let me pull up. Where'd it go? Hold on, Coy. It's right here. All right. I was wondering... I was wondering if there will be more DCMAU reactions. I just talked about that. Also, be watching the AOT finale. Thanks, Greg. I'll probably be covering it on Patreon because the pressure to cover that on YouTube is tough. Only because I respect other reaction channels who know how to get around the copyrights or strikes on anime. I have not, and it created too many panic attacks for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I frankly just don't want to put myself through it, to be totally honest with you. The other side of it is that I need to do like I'll feel like I'm in a rush to that. I need to, even though I read Attack on Titan, other than the last issue, because I didn't want it spoiled for me. Because anime and manga tend to be pretty similar. It's
Okay, so
rare.
it would be a parallel.
It would be like, yeah, even reading the manga and then watching, like, there's slight differences, very slight. But for the most part, you're pretty much watching the show. Versus, what's cool about reading a manga and an anime that I think, in terms of medium comparisons, is other than putting a voice and motion to it, is manga is often in black and white.
Oh.
And then anime, they color it in,
Cool.
so you get a different experience.
That is cool.
So I read the manga for it, other than the very last issues. But at the same time, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to do like a big refresher.
That's big,
and
though.
then on Patreon, people are way more forgiving when I don't remember something. And I'm like, it's the final thing.
Because there are people that are like, I already know Greg. I like him. Versus people that
YouTube
stumble
like, how do
across-
you know? I'm like, I'm sorry, man. It's been a long time. Xavier Johnson saying, love y'all. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Completely agree with you, Koi, too. Hate is so ubiquitous nowadays. Opinions on quality versus quantity and TVMA, MCU. Keep it up. Love your content, guys. Well, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Quality versus quantity and TVMA, MCU. I think that quality is much more important than quantity, but I think that there's this concept of concept of infinite growth that I think really started with the internet. So when you've got like Uber and Lyft, when they started, they were subsidized companies. Like venture capitalists subsidized these big companies. So while they were getting infinite growth, it made sense for the VCs to kind of monitor those things. But there was that time about a year ago when the numbers spiked and how much it cost to take an Uber or Lyft, and that's because people pulled out because they weren't growing infinitely anymore. Same happens with social media. Like Threads was growing infinitely because people didn't want to be on Twitter, but then it plummeted because it couldn't keep up infinite growth, and then it lost traction, and now it's like infinitely small. But I think there's an issue with our perception of capitalism and money is if something's not growing, it's not doing well. And I think that with quality, you need the thing to grow in quality in order to sustain it. So a universe like the MCU needs to stay at a quality level, but people that make money, people that are the studio heads because it's show business, want quantity. And I think you sacrifice quality with quantity because it's just unsustainable. You don't have enough visual effects artists, enough editors, enough writers, all those things. So I think that there needs to be both, and I think that sometimes you have to mitigate some loss with either one or the other. But if you lose both quality and quantity, that's when you start to plummet. So I don't know how to solve that for the MCU because I'm not a producer, but I do think what they're doing with DMA and what they're doing with kind of slowing down on shows will help us bounce back to that. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
And thank you. I think we try to have more positivity than negativity here. I just think it is a vulnerability. I think loving stuff is harder to do publicly because when you love something and someone else says they hate it, it feels like they're saying they hate you. Whereas when you say, I hate something, and someone else says they hate it, it feels like you're part of a club. So I think that just inherently human beings want to feel welcome, and they want to, there's literally chemical things in our brain that go off when you feel like your social status raises or when you feel like you find people like you. I think it's a lot harder to feel like people feel like you with love because it's so much more vulnerable and it's so much harder to get out there. And that's why a lot of fucking people hate me. And it's exhausting, but I would much rather love stuff overall. I also think it's easier to hate people than to hate art.
Whatever you said, I agree.
Yeah.
Mission unpronounceable. Like the stream, everyone. It helps out the guys. Helps out the guys. We need the help. Thank you.
Thank you. We do.
Leave a like on this stream.
That's
if
love,
you
Christian.
can. It helps with the playback. Brandon Jed. All right, Spaceman, I see your comment coming in. I'm going to use that as a weird opportunity to segue to some Gen V thoughts.
Ooh, I like it.
Thank you all you do, Greg and Coy. Coy, can you give Connor Rex or Dr. Doom stories?
Oh, I mean, definitely Secret Wars, the newest one.
Fantastic Four, issue number 49. Fucking the Rise of Silver Surfer, Jessica
Oh,
Alba.
definitely that one. Yeah, go back to watch the movie Doctor Doom, 100%. I would say the new Secret Wars is some of the best Doom I've ever read. There was a Doctor Doom solo title about 2 years ago that I think is a very approachable book. The problem with Doctor Doom is a lot of his stuff is very, it's like issue 17. Like there's just like these great little one-offs in books, and then you'd have to read a lot to really, get all that. So I would say the Doctor Doom solo book from a couple years back, I think it was like 2020 or 2021. I would say Secret Wars, the newest one that came out in 2015. I would also recommend checking out, do those two, and then when the movie's getting closer, I'll do like a more individual issues one, but those two are very approachable.
Very true. Very good call. Spaceman! Spaceman! Guys, we're going to talk about Gen V. I'm going to use this as an opportunity for some reason to segue into it. Just want you to know, thank you, Spaceman, for a very generous super chat. Just want you and the RR team to know how much the content means to your fans. Does it? We know how much work goes into these videos. And the first thing we do after an episode airs is refresh your page.
Aww.
Seriously. Thank you both. Yeah, I do. I see that we do have a core of people for sure. Usually they're the ones who show up in the live streams too. So we really do appreciate the core. It's something that I'm still not quite used to, because we are just. I think on the internet, I don't care how big you get on the internet, to act like you're some like important celebrity is the most annoying fucking thing in the world to me. Like when people get like shy to approach me, like. Why? Like, there's no reason to be
Unless
shy.
I'm peeing,
But then
and then be shy about it.
I get it. I get shy around other people, for sure. Like, just talking about Dan Merle, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Be yourself. But it is such a thing of like, we're here just being ourselves,
Yeah.
And I really love that. And I thank everyone for being here. And with us being ourselves, I'm going to awkwardly transition into Gen V.
Speaking of being ourselves,
I know there will be a comment on the playback. We're like, when did they talk about Gen V? And it's at the hour and a half minute.
Yeah, that's when they wanted. That's when they wanted us to talk about it.
Yeah, we're nowhere near celebrity. We're like, I think like internet celebrity is when you're like, honestly, when you're like Sniper Wolf subscribers.
Sniper Wolf?
Oh my God, he doesn't know about Sniper Wolf?
What's Sniper? Is that like when you
Do I
swat
explain
someone?
the Sniper SSS Sniper Wolf situation to Coy? Do you know anything about this?
Is it a username?
This is great. Oh my God, you don't know about Sniper Wolf?
You said USS Sniper Wolf. Was it a boat?
This is hilarious. Oh, dude, you don't know anything about her? Should we play?
Oh, it's a her. Okay. I'm so teach me. I don't like internet culture. It's a gross place.
She has so many followers, or like Markiplier. Like that's.
I know him because he had the.
That's like internet. That's like a true internet celebrity.
Yeah, because he had a movie made out of his stuff.
Yeah, like that's like a real. I'm not gonna take.
I learned who the Beast was.
Look up the Sniper Wolf
this
shit
year.
later. All right.
The Beast is someone I know of.
But there are people you meet like in these influencer circles where you can just see the ego, and I generally don't like going to those. People know that about me. I often say it when I'm there, like I don't really want to be here. So yeah.
I don't like the internet a lot.
I can't believe you don't know.
It's gross. All the internet does is spawn hate.
She's been the topic of conversation for such a long time. You might be winning back the people by not knowing who she is. Anyway, Gen V.
Coy is a boomer confirmed. Yep. I would rather be a boomer than no.
Gen V. So, she doxed a guy named Jax Films. You know who Jax Films is?
Jax Films? Like JAX Films?
It's just been so huge. Like, it's so fucking huge. It's so funny. You like don't know anything. Like legal.
Is it like a YouTube
even
thing?
Legal Eagle. You know Legal Eagle, the Real Lawyer Reacts guy.
Like a PR firm? You're speaking Latin. Like I feel like you're reading a Mad Lib. You're like Legal Eagle,
so
Jax
huge.
Films.
MatPat is like a huge one.
SS Sniper Wolf is like a boat. Like USS Sniper Wolf?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
I'm like, where do I begin to open up this
I'm like,
wormhole?
what is this journey? There's 3 very major players with silly names.
Okay, all right, I'll try to explain it. I was going to talk about...
Yeah, I love that we're still delaying Gen V.
I was going to try to talk about Gen V, but I'll try to explain this.
Okay.
All right. Here it is. All right, here it is. So Sniper Wolf is like one of the biggest YouTubers ever.
Okay.
She's got like, I don't know, 40, 30 million subscribers. She's huge. What she mainly does is these reactions to a compilation of TikTok videos.
Okay.
And it's one of the things that just contributes to reactions getting a bad name, personally, frankly. And because she doesn't really add much commentary, she doesn't do anything transformative, she doesn't even credit the creators of the TikToks. Not like she drives traffic to them. So
Okay.
there's this other YouTuber who's never really liked reaction videos, Jack's Films.
Okay.
And he started up his own channel called Jack's Films to make fun of Sniper Wolf.
Got
and
it.
the whole thing has been going on for months, which is just basically a massive critique of her channel. Like he's actually making real content though. It's not
About
just
her channel?
It's not just spoof. Like he's making real content. He's doing it for a few months. She's obviously been getting really upset about it, getting really livid, and she did something that was quite heinous. She went to his house.
Whoa, like real life.
Yeah, on her Instagram story with 5 million people, she took she took a photo of his house and something along the lines of like, come outside and let's talk like adults, basically baiting him.
But she showed everyone where he lived in real life.
Yeah, so she doxed him. And so whatever people have to say about like the level of criticism Jack's Films dealt her way,
there's real life
like,
and there's the internet.
I'm like, that one's a criticism, and sure, like maybe it was excessive, but you're putting someone's life in danger at that point.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And that's a completely different situation.
There's a literal line in the sand, and it's your router.
Yeah, and he and so he obviously was not happy about it. Did a video about it. Sniper Wolf's been getting attacked like crazy. YouTube was silent because YouTube plays favoritism. People have gotten literally their accounts removed off YouTube for joking about doxing. And then they eventually were like, we're going to temporarily suspend her monetization.
She didn't get arrested. She got temporarily demonetized?
Yeah, temporarily demonetized. And they also made a comment on it that was like, it's about both. Like, we don't want to see this kind of behavior on both sides, as if Jack's Films did something wrong. When I'm like,
wow,
no, he didn't.
For
YouTube
living somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. The way YouTube handled it was cowardice. And,
wow.
And they clearly just didn't want to lose their money-making machine of Sniper Wolf, who does make lazy reaction video content.
Dude, that
literally,
sucks.
Like it is like when we do like a movie reaction or show, it's like that. It takes a lot of time to put that together.
Yeah.
You know. And then hers is like kind of like a predictable thing, you know, and there's not really any afterthoughts that go into it.
It's just the 3 minutes of like
it's a real commentary. Yeah, it's
Got
like
it.
stretched out as 8 minutes. So it's a real bad situation. And yeah, no, she's been making the rounds. She had to turn off her comments. She's figured out a way to get around the monetization, because she has a second channel where she's been uploading content to that is monetized. So yeah, that's like.
And Legal Eagle is her lawyer?
No, Legal Eagle. That's the best comment. Legal Eagle is a huge YouTube channel.
I'm wondering how he relates or she relates.
It's like Lawyer Reacts to, and he does breakdowns of it. And he broke down the whole situation on the
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Legal Eagle is her lawyer.
I was waiting for the third name to come
funny.
in. I was waiting.
That's
okay.
so funny.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. So, but
I just got a video in IRL. I got to experience it.
Legal Eagle is her lawyer. Dan V900, holy shit, thank you so much. I'm incredibly excited for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The writers obviously you want to get that in
We still didn't get to
video.
Gen V. We still didn't
We
talk about
will
Gen-
get to Gen V. We will. This is like Matt Damon wanting to get an interview on Kimmel. We will get to Gen V.
Apologies to Andor.
Legal Eagle is her lawyer? It's just so funny if you know who Legal Eagle is. To be like, Legal Eagle's her lawyer.
It sounds like a lawyer that would defend me someone.
I'm incredibly excited for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The writers on board are great, with 2 from Rise of Dawn and Westball directing. The trailer was awesome. The recent trailer, you should get more credit. I agree, Dan B900. I think they kept it like a simple tease. Granted, I think the tease needed to like have a bit more of an impact to show what's going to be different or unique or something special. It doesn't really do anything other than like being like, we're making another Planet of the Apes movie. Like, it doesn't really do anything that special. And I think that's the mark that you need to hit. Like, if you watch, I remember the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes trailer. That's how impactful that was.
Oh, it's still
with
one of the great
lightning,
trailers.
The close-up on Caesar's face, the slow pan out, and then he puts his hand up, and he's got all the people behind him, and it's just tone, atmosphere, ickiness, dread. That's all it is. And you're just like, this movie's going to be the shit. I can't wait to see this. Yeah.
And like that movie to this day is one of those like, maybe the great trilogy that no one talks about in the
Yeah.
great trilogy conversations. Like I feel like people are finally talking about before. He finally
Yeah.
saw How to Train Your Dragon. Reaction on this channel. But like those are known. I feel like the Apes trilogy, because it was a sequel to a 70s movie, nobody like gives it that due. But I think that's one of the great franchises. Those Apes movies are incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, the trailer is fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to it. And Andy Serkis deserves many an Oscar.
Apes on Horses and Guns.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Druv. Dude, I nailed it. Bardwaj. I nailed it.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to correct me. If anyone wants to pronounce his name, it's Druv Bardwaj. Hey, y'all. I've been a fan since 2014. Just want to know if you guys are still friends with Tyrone Magnus. I haven't talked to him in quite a long time. But whenever we do talk, we get along.
I didn't know who he was till this channel.
It's been a long time since we've. But last time he was out here, we did meet up. And like I said, we don't see eye to eye on a lot, but I can still have a conversation with him. And I think it's really important. Not just to be able to have a conversation. There is a word called bipartisanship, which doesn't exactly mean what I'm talking about, but kind of means it. I'm like, we should be able to have a discussion.
When they do review Gen V, the kids will be out of college and in the 7.
Yeah. You do know when you can't have a conversation.
Oh yeah, there are people that
It's not about trying to change someone's mind. It is like some people think it's about debate and win. And a lot of times it is just about like.
well, dialogue is important to like understand other worldviews in general. Even if you're not going to change your mind, it's good to understand other people's perspective.
Don't worry, Cody. We'll talk about Gen V.
I'm just I'm letting the chat know.
I'm gonna make chapters on this video. It's gonna be live stream, and then one chapter is just Gen V. Just so tired of taking live stream Gen V.
At the 2-hour mark, Gen V will appear.
I'll fucking do it, man. I'm wild like that, man. I'll do it, man.
Bryce, he's gonna do it.
I'll do it.
One
I'll
chapter.
do it, man.
He's gonna don't stop him. Don't stop him. Don't think he won't.
As long as we keep people in the chat talking about it, it'll encourage us to do it. Jeff, Christian Unpronounceable. Thank you, Christian. Christian, do you think Loki and Kevin from She-Hulk will ever meet? No.
No, I think Kevin's just a She-Hulk show thing. I don't think we'll see more Kevin personally. I think it's a funny bit. I think it's a great meta commentary, but I don't think we'll see Kevin outside of She-Hulk.
I think it would be so cool if we did, though.
Yeah.
Travels to a universe. I feel like we're more likely to see Kevin in like an across the into the Spider-Verse joke.
Yeah,
than we are to see
that's
him
great.
in Loki,
I like that. I think also Kevin could appear in like Secret Wars, like when they do all the multiversal stuff. I think there might be like a Flash, but that's the only like She-Hulk allows for meta commentary that only Secret Wars might, because I think there's going to be a lot of meta-ness in there. But I definitely don't see him popping up in like Loki.
Let's see here. Jeff Carroll. That's an interesting question, Jeff. What's the coolest name ever? Why is it London Thor? What is the coolest name ever? I think Ashton's a cool name because they always sound like douchebags, but you always want them to like you.
Ooh, I like that. I'm big on Tiberius.
You always want the approval from
I call everyone Tiberius. I call my cat's middle name is Tiberius because I love that name. I don't know. Tiberius is just so cool.
James Tiberius Cat.
Yeah.
What non-obvious MCU project do each of you want to be announced next, and why? Oh my God, dude! I would love a. Which X-Men property should get announced, Coy?
Are you ready for a lot of people to be mad at me and think I'm just saying it because it's woke?
Rogue?
Storm.
Oh,
It's the most cinematic backstory. It's the most obvious for a big-scale movie. It's a character that leads the X-Men and has an actual, like, oomph before the X-Men. It's a character that's never gotten her due because she gets, like, lines like, what happens to a toad gets struck by lightning. It's a character that hasn't really been, like, utilized in any medium as strongly as she could be, and it's a character that has a built-in audience of people that have been waiting for all those things. I think Storm is the character that deserves a movie well before the X-Men movie. Like, I think Storm by a lot.
Question for the chat, putting it in here. Which X-Men character should get their solo debut or movie? Putting it in here, chat. Putting it in here. And then not by actual assessment, but just by thinking of quickly reading names. I'm going to try to assess which one. Jubilee's not a bad pick.
That's fun. Forge is great, too. I love Forge. Nightcrawler's a great pull. Also, I actually know London Thor. She was like in acting school with me back when I was an actor boy. London's the best. That's why I freaked out when she was on the show because I was like, my worlds are colliding. Superhero stuff in London.
Damn, Storm's getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
Cyclops.
I've never understood the Sentry love, but I'm glad people love him. It's just not a character I ever connected with.
I think Gambit is owed.
I think Gambit's owed. I think Storm's owed more, but I think Gambit's owed.
I think Morph. They should do Morph.
Oh, yeah. Morph origin story, for sure.
Morph and Mystique.
A lot of kitty prides. Or 3
Juggernaut.
kitty prides in a row, which I support.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Solo Juggernaut movie. Angel.
Angel, Rogue, Storm. Storm would be great. I think Storm would be a great pick.
It's so Roland Emmerich-y, you know, like the disaster movie and like a girl that's trying to survive in a climate that doesn't like help mutants.
Lost me at Roland Emmerich.
No, but that style of film.
Chose the wrong name,
he's not
buddy.
directing it. He's not directing it, but like that style of movie, he likes his big storms. Picture Twister, but with someone wielding them.
He's picking a great character.
Also,
and a
Twister's not directed by Roland Emmerich.
Wonderful pitch. And then,
But I'm
and then
saying
you
Day
get like
After
a Roland
Tomorrow.
Emmerich
No,
director.
but that style of filmmaking, that big global catastrophe. He's not directing
You
it.
can see the Twister and the Storms with the Storm.
It's so great. I want it.
She should just be fighting like thugs on the street.
$20 million budget,
Just-
small, gritty storm movie. Also, Mohawk mandatory.
Yeah, it's good, man. Crash Illustration, thank you so much, my friend. Hey, guys, apparently the Variety article has been debunked. I keep hearing that, but how? How has the Variety article been debunked?
The writer's actually
Can someone
AI.
tell me how it's been debunked? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking what is debunked about it.
I want you guys to do me
know-
a favor. I want you to leave this when we're done. I want you to go over to the Big Thing Christian channel and you write that in that chat because all those people are so mad at me for thinking it was a fluff piece.
I'm very curious as to how it's debunked because I saw one thing on Twitter of some writer who did work on Blade and said that any of the drafts that he was involved in were none of these drafts. And I'm like, I don't know. These big scripts go through like 20 drafts.
So it also feels like everything mentioned in that article is exactly the antagonistic thing that someone that wants to complain about Marvel would say. Like the
Yeah.
quotes are literally like, I don't know, Blade was the 4th lead after
Yeah.
a woman. Like it feels like someone wrote it to be like, I want them to be mad.
Yeah, I just don't know how it's. I would like to know what is actually debunked.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah, or is it an opinion of what's debunked? Connor Davis, do we think Loki is going to be part of Secret Wars?
Yes, but
Yeah.
not in a direct way.
Definitely.
I think he's going to be OP. I think he's going to play a part, but I don't think he's going to be like on the ground level.
Don't worry, guys. We're going to talk about Gen V in a second. Clearly, that's what everyone's here for. Diego Guevara. Thank you, Diego. Okay, I'm seeing a comment coming in, so I was just reading the top one.
I was like,
All right.
he's paused very dramatically.
Diego Guevara. Just got here. I don't know what we're talking about, but I've been wanting to ask for some time. Any thoughts on T-Swift possibly playing Dazzler in Deadpool 3? I don't know if they should do it. I mean, I'd be down for anything with Taylor Swift. I love.
I don't know if they should do it. Why would it? It's perfect.
I mean, it would make money.
It would make money. She's actually a
then
perfect cast decision for
Variety
it.
would
There
ruin
could be an
it.
original song. Variety would let her know that she's on the red carpet at the premiere before the
Yeah.
movie even airs. No, but I think she could make an original
People
song.
would show up for.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Swift
This
fans
would
would show.
change the GDP of a country. She's got like so much clout. She helped
She
Gen Z
deserves
get
it, man.
register for voting. Like she's a badass.
She deserves it.
I am totally and like her and Ryan are real life friends.
I get crap for liking her.
He had her cats on his shirt in the first film. It ties into canon. It's meta. It
Dude,
would
she's
actually
the
help the
shit.
budget. All of it. There's
Dude.
layers to it. It's not quite as meta as some of the jokes that are going to be in the film, but her being friends with Ryan and the cats and the box office impact, 100%. Swifty, bring it in.
Yeah, 1000%, man. I'd be down.
And she's actually good casting. Like it's not like just fluff. She can sing and be Dazzler. Bring it.
Melvin Burgess. I want to read this. I've seen a couple of videos stating. Thank you, Melvin. Bengias. Sorry. Benegas? Oh, my God. I've seen a couple of videos stating that the Variety article is just a hit piece. Well, yeah. Yeah. It was written by Tatiana Segal, who also did the hit piece against Ray Fisher when he came out against Whedon. I can understand feeling like the credibility can be tarnished because of a prior piece that was written, but does that exactly debunk what was stated?
I think he wrote this before you asked for a debunking.
You know, yeah, no, I get
Oh,
it.
okay.
But I am questioning.
What the debunk?
Yeah, I'm questioning what the debunk is.
I've been using that term on this network, on New Rockstars, on Harloff's channel. I've spoken about this article more than I like to even acknowledge. But I think this is a factor. I don't think it completely invalidates the article. If the article I felt like was sound, I'm not going to judge a writer's entire work off of one article that apparently, had some fluff in it. Hopefully she's a better writer than just like tearing people down. I don't know this writer's work, but I do think there is, if there's a pattern, if there's smoke, there might be fire, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
At the same time, I also think that people want to be angry. Like, there's a lot of, there's the people that keep popping in the chat, like, the world's on fire, why are we talking about nothing? 1, escapism. 2, pop culture is important to culture. 3, we're not politically driven as a channel. It'd be weird if we talked about how the world's actually on fire, but I think that because of the world being on fire, and I think because everyone feels this anxiety and animosity and tension, there's a lot of people stoking that fire with, like, I can't talk about the real stuff that's happening. Let me be mad at this innocuous thing. And this article feels like people trying to put literal gasoline on an innocuous thing. My heart breaks for the real world. I am not educated enough on 100% of the topics to really go into that, because I talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think this person is using the world being on fire, using people's animosity on the internet to cause there to be animosity about something that doesn't warrant it. So personally, this is gross to me. Personally, I'd love if we weren't this kind of culture. We're not, but it sucks that this is what everyone's talking about, because it's exhausting again.
Yeah. Totally coy.
Greg was listening.
Use the opportunity to reply to a text message.
Want to just see how? Yep, no, my stocks are doing fine.
Stop a job. I want to read this Streamlabs, because someone figured out how to get into here, and it's really impressive how they figured it out.
Oh, what'd they do?
I don't know.
Okay.
John set us up for failure.
John. Just Michael Mack. Exclusively.
Figured it out. How long has it been since the No Way Home post credits? Isn't that the funniest fucking thing in the world? Wouldn't the symbiote that was left behind be causing chaos by now? Hey, big love from Scotland. P.S. Fuck Skylar. Skylar's been...
Skylar's been better.
I feel like Skylar's been apologizing in some ways or something. I'm not sure. I need to check it out.
Yeah.
Before we hop on the fuck Skylar train.
Tentatively.
I'd rather see what he says first before we go doing on that rabbit hole. Seriously.
That's my thing with Marvel right now, is I feel like, and I've said this before, but maybe not on this channel as much. I think that the chaos of Marvel was intentionally meant to be chaos in the beginning, and then there was a lot of kickback because it didn't get to the payoff fast enough because of the Chapek era of making so many properties. Personally, I think it is very intentionally different multiverses. I think that, for example, the Spider-Man universe might not be the same one as some of the other Marvel properties. I think we might have seen variants and it be a surprise that they're a variant. I don't necessarily know if that's what they're going to pay off at the end, but I do think the original plan was a big twist in Kang Dynasty to be that, like, this character and this character weren't actually in the same universe. That's why there's no big impact of Celestials or big impact of the symbiote. I could be wrong, I could be being optimistic, but it feels more intentional than just chaotic in that element.
There should be a Loki video game. It would be cool if Loki and Doctor Who crossed over.
Yeah.
I think the No Way Home post-credit scene, the thing I'll say is, like, that movie is great when you don't hear people pissed off about how that post-credit scene totally sucks. Because Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the only thing people were mainly talking about was the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Of Venom and Tom Holland licking the television.
And then No Way Home is so good.
And No Way Home, it goes, I guess there was no point in all that hype. And the anger just, like, dissipated on that, vanished, because the movie itself was enough of a strong conversation that you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to even be mad about that post-credit scene going nowhere, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the strength of a good movie, is a post-credit scene should be like a little bit of accent. It shouldn't be the movie.
The gamer MJ, he figured out how to hack the Streamlabs.
Yeah.
He got one in here. Oh my God, I think he set us up to talk about Gen V.
No way! Thank you.
We'll keep it short, even though I know everyone's been clamoring at the bit for Gen V for us to talk about boys season. I just see it in the chat. It's brought up nonstop. I'm sorry for delay. I've just been
Waiting.
Build sizzling, letting him
Slow
marinate. He says, I love your guys' content. I bought the Soda shirt. Oh, fuck yeah, I love that shirt. I remember thinking that up. It was a soda. So funny. Gen V is easily one of the best shows of the year. I'm super excited for the Marvels today. I bought Blue Beetle Graduation Day.
Nice.
And plan to read it, but my question is, Deadpool cameo and Loki finale? No, not going to happen.
At most, post-credit scene involving something that would lead to Deadpool, but not an actual physical Deadpool, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Deadpool. That would be a terrible idea, I think. I think it would distract from whatever impact there is.
It also would be like, well, that movie got delayed. Like, we don't know when we're getting Deadpool at this point. I think they should really stop planting seeds that are not yet sown. Like, there's a lot to come. And because of the strike, I don't think they should lean forward too much.
I think they should show Echo in it. Let's talk about Gen V really quick. Boys Season 4. God, there's been so much build-up to us talking about Gen V. I don't even know what to talk about.
Well, I mean,
what did you guys think of the Gen V finale? Did you watch the Gen V finale? Put it in the chat.
1 through 10 or A through F?
What do you want us to talk about regarding Gen V and the boys? Let's do that. Glenn Howerton, I think, would fit well in the boys universe. He's got that smarkiness. He's got that cockiness. I'm thinking of Glenn Powell. Wait, which
Glenn
one's
Powell's also good for the boys universe.
I'm thinking of the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's Glenn Howerton.
That is Glenn Howerton.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's the right. Who's Powell?
Powell's Top Gun.
Oh, Powell's the guy with Sydney Sweeney
in that rom-com.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Yes. That is one point. Boy seems to have a finale problem. I don't know. I don't think so. I really thought this finale was quite strong, actually.
Glenn Howerton's my Reed, and Glenn Powell's my Hal Jordan, for what it's worth. I thought the finale was strong. Like, we loved how, I thought it rapidly handled a lot of arcs. I thought it had a beautiful way of delivering on promises from even episode 1. I thought the action was fantastic. I compared it to X-Men comic books as, a blueprint for the X-Men. I personally thought it delivered on a lot of really important, delicate subject matter. Like, this show deals with college-age kids cutting, bulimia, body issues. Like, it does a lot of nuanced, which is the theme of this episode, nuanced things really well. And then when it landed I was personally very impressed.
How will Kate and Sam first show up in Season 4?
I
feel like they're going to be beloved. Do you think there will be a forgiveness with them?
I think that we'll only see the boys' perspective on them. I think it'll be very intentionally like, look at these wholly new... I think... we'll see them, because this show is from the ground up looking at the boys, right? Whereas the boys is from the up down. I love that they're two shows with diametrically opposed viewpoints where we're kind of looking at the world of Soups from different places. I think when they join, if you've seen Gen V, you'll be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But if you haven't and you only watch the boys, you'll be like, look at these great new characters. And I think that'll be really fun discourse that'll lead people to Gen V.
I wonder what people are. A lot of people seem to not be big on this finale. What was it about the finale that you didn't like, guys? I would love to know what it was you didn't like.
I saw a little bit of that on Twitter, but I definitely didn't.
I just thought that was Twitter. Aisha Kenya, predictions for the next season of The Boys and how everything ties in. I mean, it seems like they'll be whatever that thing that was being developed by the scientist, the virus. It seems like Butcher's probably going to want to get his hands on that.
Yeah.
But also realize that genocide is perhaps not the answer, and I feel like that will create an inner conflict amongst the boys.
Yes.
Like Huey especially, Frenchie, I imagine. I think all of them would probably I feel like Butcher might want to go that path.
And everyone else would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And that'll cause that tension again between Butcher and them.
But that seems so predictable.
Right. And the show isn't generally predictable.
And I feel like they would know that's the predictable route they'd expect with their characters and maybe want to go a different direction then.
Yeah. I think we'll get some interaction between the characters, but not as strong as a meshing of shows. I think it'll be very intentionally Gen V is one show, so Season 2 is going to come back to them trapped, but I don't think we'll get a lot of them in the boys. Yeah. So therefore, I think the big ramification will be the Chekhov's gun of the virus, as well as maybe new members of the Seven.
But we have Victoria Newman, who would probably want to use it as a way to control, and it seems like our Gen V cast is caught up in the experimentation room.
Yeah. The people are saying too abrupt, ending unexpected, just didn't like it, lackluster.
I thought everything kind of came crumbling.
I was impressed personally.
Godolkin's destroyed right now.
The Rush and Lactive. I thought the season arcs were great. Interesting.
I thought Marie's arc was solid.
I thought Marie getting that last moment and then Homelander's landing spoilers.
I thought Jordan was a little bit.
Jordan was the only one I think we all were like, well,
I was a little lax. I love Kate's descent.
I also, and this is gonna
I think
upset.
there's a big gray to everything.
The show's pretty much a commentary on our world. The Boys is more of a commentary on like financial structures and more the Amazon side, whereas this feels like it's the people in school. But I did like that they had that moment at the very end of the episode where if there's a for lack of a cleaner term, like it dealt with school shootings, which is something that Gen Z is dealing with more and more. I thought it handled it really well, that the trauma of that was very much breezed over on the news, and on the day, certain characters came in and escalated the situation to benefit those characters in authority, and I think that's, in my opinion, accurate. So I thought it was really, really well done.
I feel like what happened with Kate and Sam, I could understand why the way they went could be divisive for people, but I think the way she was pushed, the slingshot effect for Kate, did make sense to me. Of someone who was very much traumatized, used, abused, knows what people think and feel, and knows how humans feel, and the humans that especially took advantage of her.
Yeah.
Of why she would become ultimately villainous. I do agree that I think Sam being persuaded the way he was felt like it
rushed.
It makes sense. Still feels rushed,
Yeah,
even though it makes sense.
Intellectually, I can be like, yeah, he's brainwashed because he hasn't had any comfort and kindness.
At the same time, I think he's a little. I think he comes across. I understand he's easily susceptible to be easily influenced because he's had a lack of social interaction and he's been trapped there for a long time. At the same time, he does come across like quite competent, at least in the performance.
I also didn't like some of the brainwashing elements not being completely clear. If I'm going to nitpick a thing, like I don't like that like Aryan race Trump hat guy like apparently can run around without a dick. Like I don't think we ever saw that. I don't think that ever like that is an element I didn't love. Like I would have liked some like it was that in her head, was that manipulation? Did Kate they make her think that like moment? But overall, I thought it was really good.
Well, I think Kate too. I feel like Kate. I see the Sam thing. I can actually understand. I feel like the Kate thing. She was off the pills too. You know, she's kind of just become fully unleashed. The truth is out. This is the thing that needed to be suppressed about her. And all the things about her being suppressed. And maybe I'm just giving the show too much credit. I don't know. Because clearly there's a lot of people who feel very strong about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess I've been here like, no, I really get it. Cause
I thought she's felt villainous from episode 3 on.
She's been physically suppressed, emotionally and mentally. Everything about her has been suppressed, and now the truth is out there, and she's no longer medicated. That to me, for her, and you see the background she had where even her family disowned her, where at least her everyone else's family was like, we can make you rich and famous, you know. So
I thought that,
and I feel like Marie and her are supposed to represent the duality of the path you can go down.
I felt like Kate had been like villainous tendencies, and then they just got like exacerbated. Like the villainous tendencies were planted, but a compassionate villain because the nuance of the show. And then I felt like she realized that people would never trust her villain. Like I feel like that betrayal is what led her to be like, well, if no one's gonna love me, I'm gonna love what I need to.
Yeah. As far as I don't know, let's talk about Homelander. I do feel like Homelander. What I loved about the Homelander thing.
Someone else is with me with the dickless.
Yeah, no, I've been there the whole time. That's why we thought it wasn't real.
And I still don't know.
Like, this guy just seems like he's just going about life,
living fine.
So and I do think the Marie and Jordan, that was one of my criticisms. That I know some people might not stick around fully for our review portion, but that was one of my criticisms about it. Was I didn't really quite see why they fell in love with each other.
Yeah,
I can understand attraction, but they like really seem to fall for each other.
Very suddenly,
and I didn't quite get that. And the Homelander showing up. I love the way he showed up because it seems like he's going to save the day. And then
that was genius.
That was really well.
It's always what Homelander wants when like no one controls him, which I love.
Yeah. I thought that was brilliant because
that's the character.
Like Ashley's coming in to like stop Kate and Sam, and then he goes in to support Kate and Sam.
Yeah,
I think that's
they
great.
call him and he's like,
great.
"Why would you do that? What kind of animal are you?" Is such a good line.
That was great. And I wonder if the Kate arc might feel less rush for some people who are, and maybe I'm wrong. You know, I think ultimately I just have a different perspective, or we do. We have a different perspective on it. Is that when Kate, knowing who Kate really is, I wonder if watching the season as a whole will actually make it feel better fleshed out versus
week to week, like what happened.
Yeah.
Also, exactly. Someone just said love the short and sweet appearance of Homelander. I think that's how you grow out shows. Like that's how you do a cameo. That's how you have so many characters. That's how you tie it in without making it sacrifice the show. Because this didn't feel like Boys Light. This felt like Gen V.
Yeah. All right. We have talked about it. We have talked about someone, when the stream is done, write down where.
2 hours. Ish.
Yeah, I think it's the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, just about.
We live for 2 hours, right? I think so.
Skylar.
Don't worry. There's more.
Oh no, that's what I don't like being mad at anybody. That's sweet.
You done fucked up, Coy.
What did it's wholesome.
You done hurt this man's feelings.
Well, he hurt my feelings. I'm glad we're on the same page. I genuinely
you hurt my
I was
feelings
worried that I was a bad
first.
person.
You're me.
We were just punching each other, and look at the. I apologize if I in any way made overly generalized comments.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I don't know if you guys have realized kind of the structure here.
Chaos
To the stream, it's generally we appreciate the support from the super chats, and we keep your guys' comments on screen because the super chats are really driving the topics, and then we kind of just see what interacts and like what you guys are saying in the feedback. And like right now, I think what you guys were saying about Gen V completely helped drive the narrative of how we talk. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it helps, and
Yeah.
also it helps us to know what people are curious about because we can't just assume because we have a very different experience with this stuff.
Yeah. We have to like everything.
Yeah, shills, it's exhausting. I go like, how do I pivot into?
How do I fucking act like I like this?
Oh, so exhausting. Where'd we leave off?
Right around.
I think Mustafa.
Yeah,
Dope,
yeah.
great name. Great.
Why you not like Secret Invasion, Jay?
Started strong, ended awfully.
God, I forget about things way too quick.
It opened with really
What were
interesting,
my
nuanced dialogue
feelings?
conversations, and by the end, it was literally a spoof that She-Hulk referenced. It was like a punch 'em up. Now there's like
Yes,
super
I
overpowered
remember that.
characters. There was no delivery on the Super Skrulls in any sort of threatening way. It literally just felt like they were like, "Oh, we need Super Skrulls." The fights felt very cheap, even though they were very expensive.
I thought there was a lack of emotional weight.
There was no
throughout.
emotional weight. Everyone dying is like lost and wasted on the show, and all of the nuanced conversations the show started with didn't pay off. It was like the first half of the show was one show about like espionage, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and the second half was like, what do people like about Marvel? And not in the way that is like actually warranted. The director had such a, in my opinion, beautiful vision of how the show started that didn't pay off, and then the way that things landed invalidate other things in the MCU. It's kind of like the worst case scenario of a lot of things for long form content. Did not work for me personally.
Yeah, it ultimately, and that finale was just not. That was not firing on all cylinders. They didn't even know how to handle reveals of things. Like
Yeah, visually
Don
or
Cheadle,
narratively.
fucking what's her name, Maria Hill.
Yeah.
It set it up
That
with
felt
such.
weightless.
They
at
set
the
it up
end.
to be such an important thing.
Yeah. And I love the
then
conversations, like the
turned into
two-person
nothing.
dialogue.
Yeah.
When I did the interview with the director, it was so like, man, I love how you're doing all this nuance. And then by the end, I was like, so these big armed people are punching each other in the sky.
But you can feel the. And the show does demystify Nick Fury. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it greatly demystifies Nick Fury.
And I thought in the beginning that was interesting, and by the end, I was like, oh, it's weightless because it didn't pay
1000%.
off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't what I hoped from the beginning.
That's the problem with shows versus a movie. A lot of times you can watch a movie and be like, I wasn't a big fan of the finale, but man, those 2/3 were really great.
Yeah, because that's like
But-
70 minutes versus.
But for some reason, a show, your ending takeaway is often the last episode.
Yeah,
You know,
I walked away sad.
it's kind of crazy how because especially when it's week to week.
Yeah, because the characters
Yeah.
were all great, and I remember
Yeah.
thinking like, man, I love Don Cheadle's performance. I love Olivia Colman in this, and then by the end, I'm like,
Yeah, because I remember like kind of feeling that way about Daredevil season 2. Like there was a lot towards the end that
I love season 2.
I love season 2. I do. I actually, unpopular opinion, I like it more than season 3. I like.
Oh, I'm with you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
I mean, the rooftop is one of the best scenes in the history of comic books.
Oh yeah, no. I think that's what I'm saying, but that's in the first half of season 2.
Yeah, but I still think that's a better.
But I think that first half is so much stronger than the last half. But I still really like the last half.
It paces itself better the first
Yeah.
half. Yeah, I agree with that. But man, season 2, it's like the courtroom stuff, the rooftop chimney scene. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much in season 2.
But I remember season 2 got a lot of flack, and I think it's because everything with the hand was kind of cheesy and whatever.
Yeah, when season 1 is like it's a high bar.
Season 1's the best.
Like season
I
1 of
don't
Daredevil
even,
is.
I don't even think Loki's better. Than
No, I don't think. I don't know if there's anything that Marvel has done in the
Nothing has
cinematic
matched.
universe that has matched Daredevil season 1.
Nothing's
And I'd put seson 2 above
Like,
2/3 of the MCU.
Have your opinions. Everyone can have their opinions.
And that's how it
That's
works.
totally okay. It's the way the world is. For me personally, Daredevil season 1 is still like the best thing Marvel has done. Yeah.
I'd put Daredevil as all 3 seasons above
Yes.
2/3 of the MCU.
At 1,000%, yeah. I don't know, the rooftop scene in season 2 with Punisher and Daredevil.
It's maybe my
like,
favorite.
What a great debate.
And that moment is up there for me as like Andrew Garfield returning, and I love Andrew Garfield. Like it's just so good. Red. Like it's oh man, I want to go watch it right now.
The Alonzo P. The lack of consequences is hurting Marvel. 1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it fuck yeah, it does. The Avengers films built off the consequences of the last one. Even Infinity War was arguably lost because of the Captain America Civil War. Cat in the catty wax. I was just like, where's my mind going with this Captain America Civil War fallout? Kang has just been collecting L's. I do find it hilarious.
That Kang is just dying a lot, which is why my theory of him being like killed for time, like I think maybe they get stronger the less Kangs there are. I think the time element is him getting like pulled spaghetti-wise into making him a conqueror of time.
You do need a Kang that is the definitive, this is the one to fear the most.
Right, which I'm hoping we get next week.
You do need that.
Yeah.
Because it's like quantity game of throwing a bunch of Kangs with like good Jonathan Majors performances are kind of undermining it. You do need a singularity at least to focus on, even if you have your multiverses of Kangs.
I'm so worried about Loki cleaning everything up and it being like, well, that's done. Like the only thing I'm worried about with Loki is him being able to be the god of stories and that eliminating the stakes of Loki season 2, because what they could have done with the end of episode 4 is allow all the multiversal stuff that leads to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars to have so much weight. And especially with Deadpool in the middle. Like I've been saying the whole time, I think, obviously Deadpool's going to clean up the Fox universe, but the events of episode 4 allow for that. And I'm afraid Loki 6 is going to invalidate 4 because of this exact thing.
Sure, exactly, yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Let's see here. Damn, we're still at 909 viewers. It's pretty good. Pretty good for never going live.
Yeah, 3 months is a long time. It's not a thing this channel does
really
a lot.
Good, actually.
Thanks, everyone.
That's really good. Thank you. Let's see here.
But also, I agree with you. Age of Ultron is building off the stakes of the first Avengers, and Infinity War builds off. Like it was escalating in a great way, which is why I think the multiversal thing. They're different multiverses, I think, but
that's why
in the multiverse.
When you've trained your audience, especially to care about connectivity, as much as we champion for individuality with your films, at the end of the day, it's like, well, you also have 10 years of connectivity.
Yeah.
So you gotta. We're also expecting it. When you think about the transition from Loki season 1 to Loki season 2, the fact that you don't need to watch any of the countless properties that came in between Loki season 1 and Loki season 2 after the ending of Loki season 1.
Yeah. The fact that big incident didn't have any like a feel
is a testament to the strength of Loki season 1, but also a testament to the negativity of what Marvel has been like lately when you're like, oh, wait. Yeah,
we're just here and we're fine. Well, especially because the end of season 1 was like, this is going to affect everything. And then we've heard things like that moment ties exactly to that moment. If you land these two things up, that's why I'm hoping that moment is when the multiverse is split and like different universes are, and then we find out later. But it does feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, I hated that stadium scene in fucking I know some people love the shit out of that stadium scene.
Even though it was a frame-for-frame comic moment, it did not feel good.
So much. Every time I see it, it's such a joke. I can't stand it, man. It's a terrible scene. Akhil Krishna, thank you. Love you such much. Thank you.
Love you so much. Appreciate you.
Kiana Chanel. Oh, look how cute this is, guys. You guys see that? Look how cute that is.
Can you see it?
She built it herself.
Oh, that's adorable. Little
T Perfect. Thank you. Normal MCU fan. I love the Marvel Universe, and I really hope they can start improving a lot of their content. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Moronic shills. You just hate women.
Oh, we're back. How many rants have I been on that I've talked about a Venn diagram? I gave visual aids. I gave references. I acknowledge not liking Captain Marvel.
I don't think it's an attack against you, homie.
This person they seemed very mad at me earlier. This is one of the people I thought was mad at me.
I think they're making.
Are you sure they're being sarcastic?
Aren't they just making a point about
how people perceive?
Because you didn't say you hate women, right?
I don't think I hate women.
No.
Women in the chat?
No, I'm saying.
Do I hate women?
God damn it, Coy. Let me finish.
Do they hate women?
Let me finish.
Do you hate women?
I think you were saying. You're making a point about that. There are those individuals out there that, whenever a woman shows up, it's an easy clickbait of just like, fucking woke.
Yeah.
Why is Wonder Woman about a woman? Like shit like that happens. But I think you were also saying that that's not really the case for a lot of people, that you can still, like, we've been very critical of the content. We're still called shills.
Yeah.
I was even critical of stuff about last episode of Loki.
Yeah.
I like the majority of my talk was a thing I had a criticism about. And And people will still say I'm just shilling. But if you watch the review, I'm like, most of me talking, I even got word. I was like, ugh.
See, T Perfect was mad at me. It is someone. See, I wasn't misreading
shit.
that. I think you can have
Dude, they
nuanced-
just contributed to your pay today, so just fucking let them in.
I also, but other people, I apologize if I was not nuanced enough in my discussion. I think you can have reasons to dislike Marvel. I think you can also have no reasons to dislike Marvel and just be loud. They're different things. So if you are one of those people that dislikes some of the choices Marvel's made, I apologize if you felt attacked by my statements, sir or ma'am.
Hold on, I'm giving an answer to Janelle, who just showed up saying, how late am I?
Very.
Saying, Janelle, here's what you are late to. I'm going to give you a list.
A little summary?
Okay? Mm-hmm.
I don't know what comic nerds being predominantly men has anything to do with loving women or not. I know a decent amount of men that love women. I think that's how humanity keeps going. Just like mathematically, babies come out of men loving women, and then adopting when you can't make them yourself is also very important. So you need to keep society alive by loving women and protecting them. It's important.
There you go.
There it is. There it is. I like it. True. True. Sorry, T Perfect.
Spidey said, say 72, thank you. Will Koi grow his facial hair back?
Very
Or is
important
baby face
question.
growing yourself going in 2024? Does your girlfriend like it?
No.
Thank God. Fucking A, man. You showed up. I was like, what have you done?
I dressed as a Mattel character, not a Struck Company character, for Halloween. And when I dressed like that character does not have facial hair. So I shaved mine. And I was like, I haven't done this in 4 years. What do I look like? And then I feared mirrors. It's been very intense, man. I'm not used to it, and I don't intend to keep it. But I do intend to mix it up a little bit. Maybe I'll just have a big porn stash. Who knows what's coming next? But I've got a clean slate, and it'll be fun.
My wife came up to me the weekend and was like, did you tell Koi how horrible his face looks?
Guys, someone said I look like...
Let me see what Koi's girlfriend has to say
Someone said I look like Sid from the Toy Story movies, and that I don't see. I got... one that I liked was...
Great.
So someone said I look like Jesse Plemons, and I definitely see more like fat Matt Damon than Meth Damon. Like, Jesse Plemons is Meth Damon. I think I look more like the Informant. But I definitely, I'm going to have stubble for a bit and maybe some mustache, but it's not a forever thing. I can't grow mutton chops. I don't have the genetics.
Oh God, Tutorial Slave. Thank you, Tutorial. What time is it?
It's about that time.
Oh God. Okay. All right, guys. If you wish to contribute to the super chats, we really appreciate it. I am going to turn them off in 1 minute so we can make sure we get through the rest. Because we're recording for 2 hours and 15. And at the 3 hour mark.
That's the goal.
3 hours.
We're gonna hit it, but yeah, I mean I'm
Because
honored.
we don't finish until then.
We don't. That's the rule.
There should either be an Edge of Tomorrow Kang or no more than 5 to 6 variants. All of them nigh unstoppable, some fleshed out in special presentations. I suppose. Have you guys read the Kang Dynasty arc? I read that.
It's so good.
There's this one arc that is so monumental. It's the one where the iconic image comes from Kang Dynasty, and there's no dialogue in it.
I think
it's
that
such a great comic.
And Jackson Lansing's Kang solo that you loved are like the two must-reads.
I like that way more.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's the best Kang. Period. Like
Yeah.
hard stop. I think Jackson Lansing's Kang is the best. But I think it's important to read the Kang Dynasty as well.
I'm gonna level with you guys on something that I've admitted before, and it doesn't earn me any brownie points. I'm not the biggest fan of event comic books. I think a lot of them are more exciting for the idea of translating them to a live action medium or adapting them in a show or whatever. But generally, a comic book event, unless I've really read everything that led to the event, that's where it's just a bunch of shit happening with no real character development and stuff. And I need that. I do need that. It's just. And there's a lot of recapping and trying to quickly explain other things that happened in another issue, and it's
a lot.
Hopping straight into an event comic is not my favorite thing, and I know a lot of people do that. But I really like I did like the Kang Dynasty one, and I thought there's such a powerful affect to the one without the dialogue, where you can kind of feel it as if you're watching something cinematic while you're just reading it. the silent, the desolate silence.
And it's impactful because of the rest of the event, but it is hard to just jump into like 2 years led to this, and you're like, well, I guess I know these guys,
and they know that people have not been reading for 2 years. So
so like let's just make this work.
Yeah,
recap.
Yeah, I think it's just like a lot of action, and action in comics is not that exciting to me.
Hey, you know what?
Even though I know that's the main thing we think about when it comes to comic book things is action. Action in comics generally is not the most exciting thing to me in a comic.
Nuance in conversation is like much like the show is more my thing. But I'm with you. What's hard for me is I can never read a comic not like someone who's read a comic since they were 2.
Right.
Like when you describe your like immersive level, I can't possibly go like I get it because like I learned to read with them. So it's really hard when people are like, "What's a good gateway comic?" And I'm just like, I'm gonna say Ultimate Spider-Man because other people have shared that with me. Like when I say Ultimate Spider-Man, it's because I thought it was how I got back into comics, and other people have shared that with me. But I can't possibly tell you what is approachable because my brain is like, I know these characters better than my family.
Right. Deadshot. Thank you, Deadshot. Coy, I wanted to say real quick, you are awesome and glad you have joined the Reject Nation. Wonder if you and John will be doing more DC project reactions. Also loved your interview with Yuri. That's a big maybe. If the last 4 pick up in views, then maybe.
Share them.
Maybe.
Play them in the background. Have them going.
We just like to break even on it. That's all we're at there.
What a business model.
Yeah.
Thank you
You're
for the
greedy, correct? I'm sorry for wanting to break even on like on the time it takes to put these together.
No. Every business should be run at a loss. Also, the Yuri interview means a lot to me, so thank you for watching and thank you for sharing, and people keep sharing and commenting.
All right, I need to turn off.
Can I pee real quick? Is that allowed? I got to. It's got to happen.
You'll have to use the one in the kitchen.
Okay.
And go there quietly.
Okay. I'll be right back, guys.
All right,
Harass
guys.
Greg.
Dude, I got this. Let's talk about politics, guys. Let's go. Let me just refresh everything. Coy not only left the room, he also shut the door, which has left me feeling very isolated right now. If people come in and wonder where Coy is, please tell them that Coy is in the bathroom. It's not about how many views we all need per video. I'll answer this question. It's not about how many. It just depends on the time it takes for it. You know, some people like their average. Like I know some people with YouTube channels were like, if it's not getting 100K, end it. You know, if it's not doing this, end it. Like one of the great things about the reason why editing is a big part of our channel. Like, one thing I'm super proud of is I'm not gonna. I've talked with other other channels to do reactions, and one thing I've discovered, and I haven't talked with every channel, like I've never had a conversation with like Blindwave about this, for example, but there's other channels I've talked to where I see what our watch time is on a video, and YouTube really likes watch time. And our watch time is very high compared to a lot of other reaction channels. And a lot of it comes down to like lacing the right commentary in throughout. Because I know there's like Zavid, I think is how you pronounce his name, fantastic React channel. He does like a lot of crazy inserts and stuff. So his editing is more involved in our editing, whereas like our editing, I can only speak to the time it takes me. And I could probably edit faster than editors we hire because normally when I'm editing something, it's because I'm in the video too. So I can kind of know the video in advance. But for me, like, okay, I could use the other day as an example. Loki was about 45-minute runtime. Shot it at 6 p.m., finished filming around 7:20. I got it up by midnight, and that was rushed. Five Nights at Freddy's took a much longer time to edit because it's Universal, so you can only use less amount of time per clip, and you also got to be mindful of music and all that. But generally, the editing time for me, it'll take, if it's a 40 to 45-minute runtime, it takes anywhere from 3 to 4.5 hours to edit that. That's just the editing down of the reaction, right? It's not factoring in like thumbnails or prep and metadata. I'm just talking about just the edit alone. So you can kind of give or take. You know, if something is a shorter episode or something is a movie, you know, like I've edited some movies here as well. And it just depends. So it's not really even about, like, ideally you'd like to get more than like 30K views or something like that. But if you're committing to something and you're seeing that like the watch time is not that high, because you can make more, speaking on just a very direct manner when it comes to YouTube, you can have some videos, like we can have a video that is a movie reaction with 30,000 views, make more on AdSense than a video that is 8 minutes long but has 100,000 views, because people might be watching that 30K view one for 20 minutes, which means better ad revenue. And I think we always earn that because there's so much work put into the editing to warrant having people watch for that long time. And so it's not really about views. That's why I use the term, are we breaking even on this?
Yeah.
You know? And then when you're not, when you're like, okay, the views are not that great, what's the watch time? Watch time's been going down too. Okay, then it's not really worth doing. That's why like shit like Superman and Lois wasn't cutting it after the time and effort was taken. Chucky. And then, unfortunately, the last like 4 with John and Coy's DC animated stuff. So that's like because if I'm not editing it, then someone else is editing it. Then you got to pay that person to edit that. Then we're involved with the re-edits. There's always people like this big fucking like hub per video.
Yeah.
Versus like a trailer reaction, which I know we don't do a lot of anymore. You know, like we shot that at what, 9:30?
Yeah.
I had that up by like 11:10.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like way shorter.
But it was because it was 2 minutes. It was 1 minute and 55 seconds plus commentary.
Yeah. So,
and even just the thumbnail, guys, you got to realize like the volume of work that goes even to just like narrowing down images because it has to be clickable. Like the thumbnail, something I didn't realize till I started working with Greg is like it has to be approachable. It has to be something that it draws you in. It also has to be accurate. You have to find that frame. Thumbnails are insane. They take as long as the video or longer. Also, I did wash my hands, and they're not itty bitty. I've actually got disproportionately big hands for a 5-foot guy. But I saw you.
All right. The last super
big gloves.
We got some super chats to go through as we end this. Keep the chat going, guys. Leave a like on this video if you haven't done so already.
We didn't skip Skylar, did we?
No, we got more to go through.
Okay, good.
I'm saying that you can no longer contribute stickers, but you can't contribute super chats right now because it turned it off to make sure we can get through the last. My stamina for this has gone down a little bit.
We're aging.
Taking it slow.
I have not played Spider-Man 2 yet. I don't own a PS5, but I hope to one day. Maybe over the holidays. Maybe
I see them in Target now.
Yeah.
Oh
well, they're just
now.
not free. Is the problem?
They can be.
Ooh, 5-finger discount.
Have you seen Unfriended Dark Web?
No.
Well,
here we go. I got to sell feet pics for Cry there. Let's see. Cinepals Love Cross Pollination. Hello, Cinepals fans. Goodfellas is a great reaction, Coy. Thank you. I had never seen Goodfellas. I think a new tradition will be my last day of whatever year before my birthday watching a classic I haven't seen. It was really fun.
all right, Coy.
New SAG-AFTRA update. Someone put that in the chat. Trying to get arms like Coy. Get after it, Zips.
All right, okay. Archie Adams, thank you. How do you think the TVA will coexist with the Spire Society as that is now linked? Also, how many other Spider-Men do you think we will see in Secret Wars beyond Toby, Andrew, and Tom? Could we see 2099? How cool would it be if we got Oscar Isaac to play Spider-Man 2099 live action?
So elated.
Boy, and then he interacts with Moon Knight.
And then they all just team up with Apocalypse from Fox.
I think Secret Wars is the only movie you can get away. Secret Wars needs to be like 2 movies if they are going to go crazy gung-ho with cameos.
I think they should split it. Yeah, I think it should be 2 movies, and I think they should go as cameo heavy as the people expect. Because it's not it's not even a want now; it's a demand. Because if we saw the multiverse like Fallout, I think they have to go hard. Unless there's 700 people in it, people are going to complain.
And I do think they should reserve X-Men for after. That way you have something to get people excited for.
I think they'll have multiversal X-Men in Deadpool and Secret Wars, and I think the Secret Wars ends with new X-Men.
Yeah, that way.
I think it's a launching point.
That way
for the
you can
new
be
universe.
excited for something. Because after, what are you going to do after Secret Wars?
New universe. And I think with the way people have reacted to Phase 5 and 6, they're going to.
Yeah.
I think that Fantastic Four, X-Men, they need to focus on the new characters. I think that there's a lot of baggage with this run because of the pandemic, because of the strike, because of the old era. I think it's going to be a kind of a soft reboot.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mohammed. I mean, I feel like Marvel might put a lot of emphasis on like, well, Echo didn't do good, but it was TVMA, so we shouldn't do that anymore.
I am a little worried about that.
Stupid. I think that's dumb when people do that.
I'm hoping the Hulu Disney Plus combination boost is enough, but we'll see.
Donazard88. I know you're enjoying Loki, but as am I. But how do you think they can mess you the finale? What? What does that mean? Hey, Kelly, what does that mean?
I don't know. I mean, mess up the finale. I think they could have what I described earlier, like no ramifications, like Loki being able to fix everything by like going through time. I think they could have another limp Kang I think that they could mess it up by having it not lead to the next wave of Marvel, so we feel like it doesn't matter. I think a lot of the shows have felt kind of weak because they didn't feel like, they had weight for the movies. So I think they could mess it up by, it living in itself, kind of like Loki Season 1 is exceptional, but like Greg said, the events at the end of Loki Season 1, So we need to start seeing that weight for it to matter.
1,000%.
Does that answer it? I think that answers
Yeah,
it.
I totally think you answered it.
Okay, good.
Amen messed up.
Oh, got it. Yeah. So
You think
I
they
think
mess
that's
up
how
the
they.
finale?
Yeah, I think that's how they can mess up the finale. Because we'll find out this week.
I feel like we should have drawn that conclusion. Ragged wreck. Thank you for your moment of silence, my friend. Sky the Magnanimous 8. Wow, what a name. What about Marvel hiring Chad Stahelski, Nicholas Winding Refn, Shaka King, Gareth Evans, and Noah Hawley to direct certain projects? Much love. So they can come out and talk about how they didn't have freedom.
Yeah.
I feel like you're way more likely to get David Leitch to direct a Marvel movie than you are Chad Stahelski.
At this point.
See, for guys who forget, Chad Stahelski for some reason has only directed John Wick movies. But Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, they co-directed the first John Wick movie together. After that, it was only Chad Stahelski. And you could kind of see what I think John Wick 1 had more of a self-awareness comedy
There was
to
a
it.
joy.
Yeah.
Well, they're all good, but there was a joy in one.
Yeah. And even though it has like the most personal darkness about him, it's still, there was a comedy angle to it, right? And
I love Leach's Bullet Train comedy. I think Fall Guy looks
it's
great.
just funny how Leach just was like, I'm just going to do action comedies now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do Bullet Train, I'm going to do Hobbs and Shaw, I'm going to do Deadpool too. I know he did Atomic Blonde. And I think David Leitch, he likes to do these like, it's just weird because like John Wick is so well known for its grounded, focused nature of its action, and David Leitch he's like
He's having a time, man.
Super CGI movies. You know?
He was on one of my flights recently, and I had a Deadpool hat on, and I've done some stunt stuff with David Leitch for press, and I've like talked to him a number of times. But it was really funny that I didn't realize I was wearing a Deadpool hat because you don't like think of that. So I was like just standing in line and like we had this talk, and then I was like, oh yeah, and like everything like Deadpool, and like I was praising it like I was like a professional.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh the hat. I was branded. I like made a fool of myself because he did Deadpool 2 in a way that I feel like would lend itself more to the MCU.
Sure.
But magnanimous is that word means like getting along with everyone and like doing stuff like a capybara is magnanimous. So Sky the Magnanimous. I think
but I was to the point though. I do think David Leitch should be a great. No, I'm not saying Bullet Train, because I don't want to sound like that. I'm saying he just does bigger movies that often involve more CGI than I would have expected from the guy who made John Wick 1.
And Nicholas Winding Refn seems like he's
Nope,
making.
don't do it.
He's doing
Nope.
the opposite.
Nope.
Like he's making.
It would be bad.
Yep. And then Shaka King, I'm not sure they would want to not make art that feels like it's personal. And then Gareth Evans, maybe, but after the creator, I doubt, because it seems like he's trying to steer away from that sort of thing. And Noah Hawley, he had that Doom property that
It's
fell
not Gareth
apart.
Edwards.
Gareth Edwards had the creator.
Yeah,
right?
Gareth Evans is Raid.
Oh.
I don't know. I get it confused. I might be wrong about that.
Could be wrong.
Ronan Unchained, what's up, buddy? Good to see your name. Hi, Greg and Coy. Y'all going to LA Comic Con? Coy does not know how to skip LA Comic Con.
Actually, might be skipping LA Comic Con.
Yeah, me too. I don't give a shit about LA Comic Con.
I mean, I don't have any gigs booked for it.
I don't really even care about San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe if someone like books me, but as of now, I'm supposed to be going to Portland to see a concert.
Wow.
I've never been to Portland.
Wow, you don't love comics.
I don't.
You don't really love comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a comic?
You just like, oh, I only go if someone books me. It's just a job to you.
I mean,
You don't want to go so you can buy overpriced comics.
yeah, I was gonna say like it's kind of like work. So if I don't get paid for work, why would I do work?
Whatever, man. I
want to go to Portland.
You're a sellout.
Yeah.
Are we talking about how hot Koi is? Apparently not.
Apparently not. There's a lot of people very mad at it, so I'm not. I'm so sorry for shaving.
Also wanted to say, to continue my previous chat, Deadshot says, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I had a lot of rough times. Anything Spider-Man would help me. I grew up with all 3 Spider-Men, and No Way Home made me cry.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. That's a beautiful film.
It really is. I to this day, it's still my #1 Marvel film because of Spider-Man being the same for me. Spider-Man is how I learned to read. Spider-Man is how I learned I think, to be a good person, and Spider-Man's always been my guy.
It took a long time for people to eventually come on the hate train for that movie, but I still think it's a fucking brilliant film.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's popular, so it's something you are supposed to hate, Greg.
I mean, like the last half, I think is significantly better than the first half, but still, it's fun as hell.
Yeah.
Serena Cuevas. Hey, Serena. Been watching for years, and it's been great. So fun. More and more of all the great additions to the channel, especially Koi. Sending love. Thank you. Glad Koi can be here. He was the first real expansion.
Real addition
I
to
said,
the real rejects.
I said, now bring on a bunch of other people now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Make it exciting, then dilute his impact.
Yeah.
No, I've literally I do a lot of work for a lot of channels, and I remember there was like 5 lives ago where I was like, this is my favorite one for these reasons, and everyone was like, he hates those other places. You can have a favorite without hating the other ones, but I truly feel like Real Rejects is my home, and I appreciate it.
Oh, that's sweet. But you can't live here.
Yeah, I know. I tried. You found me. But actually, Olivia found me, and she was like, guys,
Get off my lawn.
Literal. Yeah.
Corey M. Thank you for watching for so long. Hey, Corey. Everything I'm seeing about Echo seems promising. The announcement, we could always read. It's right here.
I keep wondering.
And we just keep looking
both
over here.
keep doing it.
But it's in front of us.
It's the profile and then the direct.
The announcement of Marvel Spotlight also has me excited. Can you raise your chair?
Sure.
I feel like we're 2.5 hours in and you just look shorter than me, and I don't like feeling superior to you.
Oh, that's kind. There we go. How's that?
That's better.
Well, now I feel superior to you. There we go. How's that? I like that better.
Yeah, I guess we're equal.
All right. Here it is. I guess.
Everything I've seen about Echo seems promising. The announcement of Marvel Spotlight also has me excited. If Echo is good, then I hope for that label. What label?
That
it's
Marvel
good.
Spotlight.
Oh, Marvel Spotlight. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Guys, it's 2.5 hours in. Brains are fuzzy.
I thought you were just mentioning the
concept.
like the concept of like the spotlight on Marvel. Yeah.
No, I think the Marvel Spotlight concept is genius. I think it's really going to be a way to distinguish which things are must-watches for the theatrical experience versus like highlighting characters. I think it's a lot like Marvel Knights or like any of the imprints that have done well at Marvel. I think it's really, really nice. I don't know. Chris Smith, I don't like every channel I'm on. I mean, I like every channel I'm on, but I don't have a favorite for every channel
baited
I'm on.
you.
He did. He's been trying the whole time. It worked. I think that they all have different things, and yes, this chat is mean, but all chats are mean because I'm on the internet. It's a horrible job. But I think that Marvel Spotlight is going to be very important for distinguishing different elements of what Marvel is, and that way people feel like they're not overwhelmed necessarily. And also, I think they'll give it different flavors, better experimental choices. I also feel like it's the first choice that feels directly akin to James Gunn taking over DC. When I read Marvel Spotlight, I was like, oh, so now Kevin Feige's looking at what DC's doing, and we're starting to see that competition. I've been wanting this forever. DC doing well makes Marvel do well, makes them both do better because they're trying to compete. Spotlight feels like, oh, they're going to take some chances at DC. Let's take some chances at Marvel. They've been taking chances, but I think it's going to be stronger.
Hey. What's Marvel Spotlight?
Marvel Spotlight is a specific brand that is in conjunction with Marvel Studios that is more about ground-level heroes or more darker, different elements of heroes. So it'll be things that aren't directly tied into like the Avengers. Like if you watch a Marvel Spotlight, you won't be confused to watch like Avengers 9. So it's kind of like an imprint in the comic book sense.
Jeff Carroll?
Chris Smith totally got me.
We've had a lot of videos get taken down of YouTube in those Ryan Wright days, Matt. A lot. One was a sketch that I fucking loved. Sketch that I made, edited, everything, and it got taken down.
That's rough. Someone missed my comic recs in this channel. Well, I think when the world's back to spinning, there'll be a place for Koi's Comic Corner again. But that's up to Greg.
This is semi it for now. I need you here. I can't do this. I don't know what Marvel Spotlight is. Cillian Murphy and RDJ's performance were rightly praised in Oppenheimer, but I also feel like Benny Safdie was highly underrated too. Also loved him a good time. Who do you think he could play in the MCU? Benny Safdie in the MCU? He could play Solomon Grundy in the DCU. Oh, he could play. Yeah.
Ben Safdie in the MCU.
You know who that is?
No, I don't know who he is. I can't think of anybody, though. He's a Good Time, and he's a director.
Yeah, he's the co-director of Good Time as well.
Yeah.
He's a brother to in Good Time. He's in Oppenheimer as the
scientist that, like, pushes things over the edge. He's got that really interesting face with big brows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a character that's got
I didn't ignore you, Campura. I said hi.
That is a funny insult. I'm the type of guy to review frozen pizza. That is so funny. I love that very much. This DiGiorno is a 4.3.
Answer the question. I just said you're here for a reason.
Brainiac.
Do it, Coy.
Is fun for DC. Benny Safdie as Maggot in the X-Men.
Okay.
Sorry, Benny Safdie. You just got to look.
You could play Jigsaw. Hey, that's not bad.
That is fun. He's a really talented actor. It's just
Jigsaw,
he's got a very specific face.
He could.
I like that. Tombstone's good. I like that.
Oh man, they were such cowards in Punisher season 2.
Oh yeah, they kept him so handsome.
I was like, I feel like this makes him more like better looking.
Yeah.
They're like, no, now there's more of a mystery to it. Like, what happened to this guy?
He's just like more interesting. Like I'd be like, this guy's got a story.
Yeah, they were such cowards.
It was just like because that actor is also like a staggeringly handsome guy.
I know.
And they're like scratches.
I thought it was great to cast him in the first season because you're like, oh man, they casted someone who was like so obviously beautiful, and they're gonna ruin him.
And that point, there's a duality,
yeah.
but there wasn't.
And there
was
wasn't.
like,
and then in the whole season, it's like, I'm so ugly. I'm like, are you?
Oh, Benny Safdie for Beast is fun. I like that, James. That's clever.
Yeah, put him in makeup. Cam plays. Hey, Cam. Wish Moon Knight for the TVMA first. Hey. You know what? They should have had Loki for the TVMA. That should be an alt universe. For the TVMA universe. These jokes only get better.
It's just Owen Wilson walking around
These
saying,
are
wow,
good jokes.
I think Moon Knight, I said it in our Echo trailer, I think the violence in the trailer for Echo was more violent than Moon Knight's entire run. And Moon Knight's like one of those insanely violent characters. So it would have been nice. I enjoyed a lot of Moon Knight, but you know, I think there's also elements of cutting away that work narratively and also like we need to save the rating. What up, Jack? So I think that's important.
Quaid?
No, he's not in LA.
That's not Jack Quaid?
It's not. It's Jack Fern. I assume. I think it's Jack Fern. What up? Maybe it's Quaid. Gen V was great, Jack.
What if it's Quaid?
I'm gonna look up if he owns Kinetic Films. It'd be funny. It might be. I know he watches the channel. Been on it.
Be like, what an asshole, Jack Quaid.
Come on, be in
won't
here.
even say hi to me.
Talk Gen V in here. I really don't know.
Seon! Thank you, Seon. Thank you for the question. Hey, Greg, will Chalice Lamonaco, it's Lamonaco be back on the channel soon? I think you and her have great chemistry on camera. Oh, man, well, I love Sally, and we're just trying to figure it out. It's just a little bit hard. She's been working on some other stuff, and then filming remotely with someone's always way more complicated than filming in person, obviously. There's a whole bunch of, I talked significantly about, like, editing. This is a bunch of, like, technical, and then you got to, like, secure connections. It becomes, like, a whole mess. When you're trying to record properly, you got to get that footage. You got so there's just reasons why that we haven't. But I would love to film her again. So I made an appearance for Spider-Man film. Last time she was out here, she stayed with us. She's great. I fucking love Sally.
It's my actor buddy Jack Marullo, who I just saw on the picket lines last week. Not Quaid, who was also on the picket lines. Jack was like literally at the other side of Paramount when we were there. Jack.
Well, I don't know you, Jack Murillo.
Yeah. So there.
So
great guy. Just got married. Congrats.
Oh, congratulations. We hang out.
Married people only hang out with married people.
Let's look up Jack Murillo.
See how he's doing. Look at that handsome guy.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Damn, look at this handsome devil.
Truly. Look at that guy. Doing the work. Being
Holy
handsome.
shit.
You just made a fan.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I know your face.
Yeah, he's like a good working actor.
I've seen him in stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go to your IMDb.
Also a sweetheart. Good fellow. And
everyone look up Jack Murillo.
Get that star meter up.
This is what influencing is.
Oh, we're influencing Jack Murillo's career. Let's get. I want to help people I know, so let's do it.
All right.
All right.
He was in SEAL Team.
Yep.
Oh, Call of Duty. He's worked on Call of Duty.
Bunch of them.
Oh my God, Jane the Virgin.
Yep. Doing the work.
I mean,
we're influencing in real time.
Influencing.
This
Guys,
is how you do it.
Jack Murillo is my new favorite actor. He's also a director and a writer, and he's really in shape.
Oh, yeah.
Graduated from the Lee Strasberg Theater. Jesus.
Hustling, doing the work.
And oh, my God. Represented by CAA.
Protesting on the front lines.
Everyone, you show some respect to Jack
Murillo.
Is he in the chat?
Hope so. We've been just giving him all that.
Oh, yeah. I should show him on screen. So sorry. Here, let me just slide
Other
him in
people
here.
are. We got to slide into the
Let
DMs on
me
public.
just slide him in here really
Let's
quick.
see if,
Hold on a second.
I like the real-time influencing we're doing.
Yeah,
It's
this
really,
is called influencers.
Yeah.
For influencers.
Well, look at him.
Look at him.
Look at
Boom.
that handsome
Look at that
face.
handsome man.
He's doing the work.
Look at him. Look at him. Everyone look at him.
Well, that's not him anymore.
That's
well,
not
there's
him.
There's a
Stop
couple.
being
There he
him.
goes. Yeah.
This is the Jack Murillo fan club.
That's I like it. I like it.
All right, that's what I'm talking about, baby.
Jack Dorillo has a different last name.
I hope he's still
Jason
here.
Dorillo. Yeah, I mean, we gave him
I mean,
all
we
that,
gave
all
him
the
some, we gave him
plugs.
some real plugging.
Come on now. If there's a casting director in the chat, hire this handsome man.
All right.
All right, we're back.
All right. How much more do we have here?
Who knows? I mean, that tangent was clearly warranted.
All right, Coy, we can do this in 18 minutes.
All right.
Watch efficiency.
Boom.
Oh, boy. All right. Efficiency coming in. Coy, get ready to be efficient. Oh, we can do it.
All right.
Joe O'Keefe, greetings from Dublin, Ireland. Just wanted to say you guys are wonderful people. Haven't interacted with much with you much the last one with a chicken and send me love.
I'm
Joe
sorry
O'Keefe.
to you and all my ancestors for what just happened.
What are you talking about, man?
I was like hearing home.
I honored
That's
you.
what that was. That was like a
Oi, top in the morning to you, laddie.
little taste of home. That was. Much love back to Dublin. I was supposed to go there this year, but I did not make it, and I am very bummed.
Periwinkle Blue.
There's a bicep check. I think Periwinkle Blue. Those are the pikey. Anyway, I am very excited to get back to Dublin. I love that city very much. And poachine is my favorite beverage on the planet. It's hard to find in America. It's even harder to find in Dublin because it's illegal there. But if you know the right bars, you let me know next time I'm back. And much love back.
That accent was not tragic. What the fuck are you getting on about, man?
It's like someone doing a Conor McGregor doing a Lucky Charms impression. It's like layers of.
I know, man. It's versatility.
Look at this guy.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, Aaron.
Much love.
Much love to you, man. I've lost a parent. It's a terrible feeling. Wait till you go through it.
I don't
I
really
will
know
be
how to.
busy that day.
Ouch.
Remember 32.
Brings it personal, brings the mood out, and then insult to injury.
Remember people saying comic book fatigue in 2016? Yeah, you're all wrong. The next year we got Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor 4. Really? That was Thor 4?
I don't think so.
Man,
I think
Love
you
and
just
Thunder
looked
came out in 2017 and we're still hating on it. Spider-Man,
Only
Logan,
30% Irish, and I'm offended.
and Wonder Woman. Some of the thing was gone. Quality will save comic book movies. And not only that, you got to release all comic book properties on the same week.
Yeah, same day, preferably. If you can
Yeah.
have all the things come out the same day on a Thursday,
Yeah.
perhaps that'll be great. I agree. I think there's phases of going through hate for a thing that's doing well, and I think that I know people are gonna be like, it's not doing well. You can look at a 20% drop and all those things. But you can also look at the giant box office still compared to other movies.
Oh, yeah.
It's not dying, but it is not what it was in 2016, and I do think it'll ebb and flow. I think we're just in an ebb.
Superhero fatigue.
I don't even know what that is.
What's the guy in Eternals? The Irish one?
Barry?
Yeah.
Is that
Is that his name?
Yeah.
What the fuck is his name?
That's Barry.
There are a lot of Irish Mexicans. Why, like a bean burrito? I've definitely.
Ottoman sold two giant
that was one of the most
demographics in
racist
one.
things I've ever
Oh,
said.
man. You really, truly was.
Why, like an enchilada, please?
2 hours and 40 minutes into a stream, it's just untethered.
It's just, now it's stereotype. How many amalgamation stereotypes can we throw in a
man,
one?
You thought I was offensive earlier by thinking people didn't like women. Here's Greg pulling out the Irish-Mexican accents.
Back at. Hey, Clarify was asking about comparing American domestic opening
Stop it.
of a movie versus global opening when commentators predicting success of a film. What? Your clarity is making me more confused, my friend, but I love a super chat.
Oh, why the American opening versus the global is more important to. I think it's more important to Americans, and also because Hollywood is trying to keep Hollywood as important to them. Like, I feel like, I imagine Bollywood has the Indian box office first as a foundation. I think it's just like, these are the American films. We're talking about the American box office and the worldwide box office, but it starts with the domestic, I imagine.
Yeah. Kind of. It depends. It depends on the property.
That's true, because some films do much better in balance internationally.
Some people just really care about getting that overseas market, you know?
Yeah, and like I think the Transformers films, exceeded expectations there. I think what Avatar was really big overseas. So I think it all depends on what you're. I think it's a business tactic to make your movie sound better. Like if it did great domestically, lean domestic. But yeah, I think.
Yeah, like Tom Cruise, man. International audiences love Tom Cruise.
Yep.
So they really try to like tend to that, you know.
And the U.S. market is huge. I think the Chinese market is like second biggest. India is bigger than
They've
America.
been losing interest in our shit though, man.
Yeah. So
every Chinese person
disinterested.
I could speak for all Chinese people. Koi, do your best Chinese accent.
Nope.
Now, do it.
Hello, I'm from China.
God.
Chinese
Coward.
accent.
Coward.
Check.
This world's too sensitive. When a white man in a live stream can't do a Chinese impersonation.
Just did a great one. Hello, I'm from China. Handled.
I moved here to the United States when I was 1 year old.
I was raised with people that spoke just like me, and here I am. Tom Cruise was Irish and far away.
He was.
Thank you for changing the subject for me.
Trey Porter. Hey, Trey. Blue Eye Samurai. It's a really great show on Netflix. It just came out yesterday. There's too much television. That's why I'm watching Whose Line Is It Anyways.
It's safer that way.
But I'm sure it's good.
I saw your chat a couple times. I have too many shows. I'm so behind. I haven't even watched like Dairy Girls, which I hear is very much my jam. I need to watch a lot, but I just don't know if that's going to happen.
I've been wanting
I haven't
to
watched
watch
Better Call Saul.
Oh man, it's such a great show. I've been wanting to watch The Continental, and I'm like, that's only 3 episodes I got to watch.
Yeah, it's what, like 4 hours total?
I haven't even finished Barry.
Yeah.
And I'm like 5 episodes away from it. Attack on Titan last episode come out today. Your thoughts? My thoughts are I am eventually going to watch it this month. Those are my thoughts. I promise. But they appreciate the super chat and the inquiry, your overall interest. It means a lot. Thank you. Heather Gear, ultimate dear that I hold near and dear. Do not fear. She brings so much cheer. And reindeers live. Have you seen The Deer Hunter?
Nope.
Oh, wow. What a fun movie.
Fun?
Oh, yeah. It was so fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Should I react to The Deer Hunter?
I've never wished I was in the Vietnam War more.
I mean, it seems like a romp. I feel like,
so excited for her.
I wasn't even alive, and I still hear CCR and go, that sounds rough.
Yes, all the thoughts on Gen V, please. We've given it. We're let your chat. Yeah, I would love to. It'd be great. I want to.
What are you thinking, like January, February?
I think we should do it December, right before the Christian Harloff one.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Just hours before.
Just literally same place.
Same place, same room. And then encourage people, be like, look, there's another show coming up, but if y'all want to hang out outside.
We're going to get pizza.
We're going to go get pizza.
Bribe them with
right
pizza
next
and
door.
everything. Yes. Into it. Yep, that's the move. December 1st or whatever. Let's do it.
But I appreciate you, Heather Gear. She's one of our most loyal, super sexy rejects. Those are our patrons. I haven't seen The Losers. I've been wanting to do a reaction to that, James.
Losers is great. It's a Jock comic. Jock's an artist I really dig.
I don't have plans to do One Piece anime in the future because the show is forever. Skylar, here we go. Let's see what he says.
There we are, Skylar.
Let's see if he's going to warm up to you, man. Moment of truth. There was some heated debates happening between you and Skylar earlier. Have we gone on a character arc here?
Perhaps.
He says, Koi, I apologize for my idiotic.
I cannot believe. I should have. That was the delivery on the joke. The setup was there. I'm still shocked. This is my shocked face. I am 2001 shocked.
Koi.
Whoa.
I apologize for my idiotic and hateful comments. I do appreciate your wealth of comic knowledge. I also appreciate your worldview.
I'm still gobsmacked by the accent.
Hey, man, he loves you. No.
I will say I appreciate the apology. I accept and extend mine back. I really don't want to be polarizing. It's really hard for me because I'm a very I have strong opinions, and I do get very protective of people in my life. Like my mom was a 16-year-old mom. I have more female friends than male friends. I tend to identify more with women, and I think that a lot of misogyny isn't even realized by the people doing it. And I also don't think that everyone is misogynistic, and I don't think everyone that doesn't like Marvel is. But I think there's a lot of it in our culture, and I think there's a lot of subtle racism that I'm trying to see more and more. And
What
like,
you talk about, Coy?
like certain accents to intro apologies and
Yo,
then
dog,
outro
you gotta chill out on
apologies.
this woke shit, man.
But I honestly am trying to not be so polarizing, and I'm honestly trying to not have people. I don't think that a diametrically, which is the word of this episode, opposed viewpoints are ever going to come together. But I also think there is more middle ground between people than they want to, because it is easier to hate. So thank you for your apology. I extend mine back, and I hope we're cool.
Shit. Melvin banging out his Venagas. Love every single one of you. I just want to say I've seen so many new movies just so I can watch your reactions. Keep them coming. Oh, thanks, man.
That's cool. That's a great
I
comment.
like when I hear people. I like when I hear people say that we can. Like I like that. I've done that. I've done that like many times. Like sometimes I don't want to hear a review, or
Until
I want
you see it, so you watch it.
Yeah, I don't. And sometimes there are channels like that I like to listen to, like. No, man, I haven't had edible in a while. That sounds great.
Now he's got
Seriously.
afternoon play.
Seriously, my God. That would be life-changing right about now. I just haven't been sleeping lately. I slept today, but it's like, your body just needs, like, I need to.
You need a few days, man.
Sometimes
There's
you
like
hear
deficit.
you hear about a coma,
And you're like, that sounds
and
nice.
I'm like, wow, what a break. Like these people take their comas for
they got
granted.
40 days of just
I
not.
go into hospitals and I just yell at those grieving people.
You don't know what you have.
Yeah. Anyway,
This end of thread is just a wow.
but no, it's like Weekly Planet, my favorite podcast. They always do a spoiler review for anything they're covering. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to hear it. I should watch this movie though.
Yeah.
So I can know, So
That's a high
that
praise.
makes that makes
that's
me
really
happy.
cool.
That makes me really happy, honestly. Thank you, Melvin. Emmanuel Rodriguez. We are not going to react. I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the inquiry. Are you guys going to react to Superman and Lois season 3? No, we're not. No, it's too late. There's a reason they're canceling the show. I'm joking. I've entered this phase of the live stream.
It's crazy CW is just out of the superhero game.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
It's a great show, really is. And one day I'm just going to continue it on my own.
It's crazy that the CW was the superhero network and now they're out. That was the last CW show, like the DC show. It's crazy. They're just like, and I know it's going to have stuff on HBO and everything. It's just insane to think about. Like we're living through with such a big phase shift. CW my entire childhood, like Smallville on.
Totally.
Like,
totally.
I love Smallville, so it's crazy to think we started with Smallville. I do like that we have symmetry. It started with Smallville and with Superman and Lois. It's just crazy to think about.
And that's going to kick off the DCU with Superman.
Superman, yeah. Phases.
Alonzo P. We got to get coin the Arcane. Have you not seen Arcane?
No. It's 2 shows.
Oh, man. You would love Arcane.
Is it in like a Critical Role show? Isn't it based off like a Critical Role campaign or something? Or am I thinking of another show?
It's a video game property.
Oh, okay. Yeah, still.
I've never played the game. I don't know anything about the game.
Okay.
But the show is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The show is phenomenal. It's some of the best animation you'll ever see.
For
like a show, I was like, wow, this is really good.
No shit.
Like it's a gorgeous looking show.
Yeah. I mean, I canceled my Netflix a while ago.
Why?
Because I think they're like money hungry and shitty to art.
Oh, being such a bitch.
I just fuck Netflix.
What?
They don't have any good new content. I don't know. Fuck them. I'm glad people like it. They're part of the evil.
So's everything we consume.
True, but I only restart stuff when there's something I want, so I'm not paying
Disney's
them
horrible.
Oh, the worst.
They're all horrible.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to support the horrible ones that aren't giving me shit I like. I'm gonna only pick the ones that are giving me shit
They
I
have
like.
One Piece.
Eh.
Have you seen
Now
it?
I turn on the chat. I don't know. Not my thing. I mean, they're
Dude,
not.
you gotta chill out, Holmes.
Netflix is a big one of the people that's like keeping the strike going. They're one of the big people that is keeping residuals from being shared.
Dude,
they're giving a lot of people a lot of money to make garbage that's flooding the market. They ruin the exhibition industry. I don't fuck with Netflix.
Dude, we gotta wrap this up in a few minutes.
Right.
And I'm rounding you to 3. I don't even care if we go to 4.
Okay, we should wrap this up.
Kawhi Nancy for a reaction on the Fortress with Christopher Lambert. Hey, man, that would be something. I love Chris Lambert.
That'd be something.
You know Chris Lambert?
Yeah, he's great. He's
Highlander.
There can be only one.
Raiden.
Yeah.
The Doomer. Thank you, the Doomer. I'll be fine with no Gen V talk. Well, it was here
We
around
had
the 2-hour mark.
Check back. People are on my side of fuck Netflix. That's right.
I use Rocket Money. You've heard Rocket Money?
The like Mint mobile app kind of thing where it like keeps track of your money.
Yeah. I was like, damn, I've been fucking paying for so much shit. And I didn't even use Rocket Money to cancel any of it yet. Dude, I was like, that sounds time consuming.
I check my money every 5 days. I literally have like an OCD about checking all my accounts. I know if I've ever gotten like a fake charge and shit. I like have that on lock.
I just monitor like paying like the
Make sure
main
your bills are paid.
and like the people that show up here.
And that's you're like, everybody else.
And then
just
like other
take
things
my
that show up. I'm
money.
like, oh shit. So, fucking, I don't even know what this app is. Aisha Kenya, hey dear. So happy to see you handsome fellows on a live again. Well, it's happy to see your beautiful face on our live again. Fun question for you guys. They're gifted 20 cents each of BetterHelp to give to one hero, one villain. Who do you pick?
Oh, that's fun.
Well, have you seen The Sopranos?
No.
Okay, you haven't. All right, fine. And means no.
No. I was trying to think about
What are you trying to
if
think
I'd
about?
seen any
I've seen
of it.
some of it.
I
Don't
was
give me
gonna
some
say if I've seen
John
any.
answer.
I was gonna think about it.
I've
Now
seen
John's not
episodes
here to
like,
defend himself.
gosh.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Hey, this person's got the idea. Stranger Things 5 hits, and if they start paying their people, I will subscribe again.
My favorite interaction with John.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell you guys my favorite interaction
go.
with John. Right here. It's true. I'm too rich to
He
worry
is
about trivial things. I
throwing
just
money
go
around.
throw money at all these companies.
Pop,
right off.
Pop.
Yeah.
It's a write-off for me, too. It's about the integrity of them not paying.
It's like, I guess I'll give it to this company instead of the U.S. government, which is another company. So,
yeah.
My favorite interaction with John is still my favorite. I was like, hey, have you seen The Longest Yard? And he said, which one, the Burt Reynolds one or the Adam Sandler one? And I said, the Adam Sandler one. He's like, no. And I was like, oh, have you seen the Burt Reynolds one? He's like, no. And I said, why didn't you just say, I haven't seen The Longest Yard?
That's so
I'll never
good.
forget it because, like, that's summarizes an interaction with John.
Beautiful Johnism.
It's just like, just say you haven't seen it.
Oh, that's amazing. That is a Johnism.
Like,
through
why
and
have
through.
me clarify?
Why go through the loops? Why are we going through this dance? It's very cute that he took the time to process. John, I love how John thinks because he's always so wholesome that I see how he got there.
All right, we got to answer this call. You're routing you 3 hours.
20 sessions. One's going to John.
John
okay.
would be the villain
Let's
of my story. No, I would. Okay, I brought up Sopranos for a reason because Sopranos, a great lesson in Sopranos is, yes, let's have that be shown for John. A great lesson in Sopranos is there's some people where therapy will not be effective. You could be sometimes it'd be a great psychological study, but that doesn't mean they're going to change.
Sure.
You know, maybe they make them more aware, but it doesn't mean they're going to change.
Okay.
Like if you're such a sociopath to a certain point, you know. Like I love like those psychological interviews, those real life conversations with the serial killers and stuff. I eat that shit up.
Sure.
But I'm not here to listen to how they're going to
not
change as human
healing.
fucking beings.
This
you know?
isn't them improving their state.
So all this to say, I wouldn't give it to Homelander.
Sure.
I don't feel like there's a chance for Homelander to change. But someone who could really I would give it to Peter Parker.
He could
Honestly,
use
I think Peter
that's
Parker.
a great one. He could use some therapy for sure.
Peter Parker is always about the weight of like struggling with balance, the weight of the world on his shoulders, responsibility. He's got a lot of trauma. He never has time for himself. Always for other people. Dealing with that fucking MJ just nagging on his goddamn back all the time. Like, get off his back, marriage.
I love Mary Jane and Peter's relationship.
I know,
and I'm trying to
great.
think of a
That
moment that happened, and I'm like,
fucking around.
what's it called? Though, Yuri and I talking about that in the interview we did was one of my favorite things. Like him thinking his responsibility was too strong. Plug. for like the character and how he identified with that. Because that's like a thing for me too. Is I identify with like over responsibility.
I feel like Magneto would be a great one to give.
Because he definitely does
villain.
waffle.
Yeah. I feel like there'd be hope for Magneto.
I'm gonna go with Jean Grey. I think she could use some therapy.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I think Jean Grey, like turning into the Phoenix, is a lot of built-up things that could have been like worked through.
Yeah.
And that's my hero, and then my villain is going to be Omega Red. I always feel like could be better. I always feel like Omega Red like never gets a redemption arc, and I feel like he was raised in a bad environment, and maybe if he just talked it out, he'd kill less people.
The Lokis don't need therapy. All he needs to do is see a recap of his
own life,
have one conversation with Mobius, and be like, "Here's why
I care about friends. I need friends." Yeah, those are my two.
Emmanuel Rodriguez. I think parts of thank you, Emmanuel. I think parts of the article, like the Marvel's pre-sales or Marvel panicking about the negative reception of the shows and movies, is true, but certain parts were called accurate, like Blade's many writers. All it takes is one thing to poke a hole in to completely question the credibility of everything. It's like if you learn about one lie someone tells, that makes you question the validity of their entire truth.
Yeah.
And that can be said for the Blade thing with the many writers. Like that could very well be true. I have a hard time believing that there was a scenario. Like when I heard it, I was like, really? What? I don't care how much progressive pandering something does.
I don't see fourth lead for Blade.
What world do you do where you make that the fourth lead?
Yeah.
I don't understand where that would exist. Like that sounds insane to me. Because
there's
not
a
even
lot
consider that.
Like his mom is the only like main female character in Blade history. So it'd be not only is it a weird one to say that about, but like I can't think of a female Blade character, much less someone that could take three of them before him. So yeah, I definitely don't buy that argument.
Yeah, that sounds like crazy nonsense.
Honey Badger's a great pick. Killmonger, Jason Todd, all excellent choices. Good comicking, everyone. Respect.
Why is it so hard to make a Blade movie?
I mean, just watch the old ones. Like, they're great.
I know.
Like, it seems really weird to not go.
I think
also, the new Blade comic is so good. There's your comic rec for the episode, guys. The new Blade comic is so good.
People have been pointing out there's some end audio credit at the end of episode 5 of Loki.
It's just the arcade machine saying something.
Oh. What does it say?
I don't remember. Maybe it was important. I missed it.
Zaniac.
I heard it when we were watching. It was a Zaniac soundbite.
Oh. Brandon T. Herna. Thank you. I think you should do a watch series of the old Kung Fu theater movies. Executioners, Wheels on Meals, Iron Butterfly, and Sword. Actually, I've seen Executioners.
I've seen none of them.
Okay. Executioners is actually the sequel to the Heroic Trio.
Oh.
And they both star Michelle Yeoh and Maggie Chung.
All right.
Oh, what is her name? It's not Anita. Oh, God, what the fuck is her name? I forget what it is. Damn, she plays Jackie Chan's mom in Legend of Drunken Master.
This is a big old blind spot for me. I'm gonna own that.
Oh, they're great films, man. They're superhero movies, but like with great wire work.
Sure.
And not
I like when I
CGI.
have a Kung Fu film get in front of me. I just don't typically put them on.
Great films. Wheels on Meals, Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung. Benny the Jet. That's where he has a super famous fight scene with Benny the Jet.
Benny and the Jets.
That is a great. That's one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. I haven't seen the Shogun trailer, but I'm interested. I've heard it looks awesome. But I haven't seen Iron Butterfly and Sword. But yeah, that'd be fun, actually. It'd be cool to check out some of those. Jay. See, when people talk about like great fight scenes and shit, I'm like, I don't know, man. You guys didn't grow up on Kung Fu cinema.
Sure.
Like there's some Kung Fu cinema that you guys have not seen, or you're just like, or Asian cinema, and even today, Asian cinema, like you're like, that's where a lot of the great fight scenes are actually located, is over there. Jay, forgot how Hawkeye existed till the Echo trailer. Wonder what's going on with Hawkeye, Bishop, Marvel. Who gives a shit? I know Jeremy's accent probably factors in. Hope it's okay. Maybe it factors in.
It says you died. Insert a coin loser. Is what the post credit says.
My wife needs help. I gotta end this soon.
I hope there's more. I think Kate Bishop's a great character. As much as I didn't love the show, I loved her character and I love her relationship with Jeremy Renner. I hope we get to see more of them and I hope Renner's doing great.
Andre's character development is underrated. Mustafa Job in Gen V.
Oh, thank you. I was like,
underrated.
Underrated?
How's he underrated?
He has a pretty great arc.
Every time he's in a serious mode,
he's gonna look forward and speak here.
I'm doing my American accent.
I got powers. I hope that actor doesn't watch the Rejects. I think he has a decent arc.
I hope he watches Real Rejects.
He's
the only one we got I can impersonate.
Maybe it'll go better. Yeah, I think he has a good arc. I don't know if it's underrated, but I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the commentary on Gen V, to be honest. I haven't followed it.
A lot of people think that Rush Hour was Jackie Chan's first movie.
Those people,
Yeah.
wow.
Whoop. Whoop.
His first movie was
Chandler.
obviously Lethal Weapon 4.
I would be upset by your comment if I didn't get that was a Chandler reference. Whoop.
Nice.
Greg is whipped for real. Oh, dude, happy wife, happy life. And no, it's actually a fair exchange. She's forcing me to say that.
You said the quiet part out loud.
Skyler. Loki season 2. Hey, it's your best friend.
Hey!
Handles the characters
Hashtag new friend.
very well. Casey being revealed as the Alcatraz escapee, Frank was brilliant. John picked up that it was Alcatraz right away. Didn't realize it was a real life person until someone pointed that out. Yeah, he's playing a real life escape. Like Loki being DB Cooper in season 1. That is clever. Maybe not as famous.
John's got those great deep cut pulls where I'm always like, what a thing to know.
Yeah, when he was like, hey, have you seen the Lucky Shark?
And you're like, which
the one?
one?
With Burt Reynolds or the one with
Neither.
He knows which one they are.
He does
but
know
he
there's
hasn't
two.
seen them.
No, but that's a deep pull. That's impressive. Hope John's watching. 3 hours in. I also keep wondering if KC was named for Kang the Conqueror. I keep feeling like those letters are important, but I don't know what it's going to be. We'll see. We'll see.
Mars 8 Productions, Koi's counting every minute that he's losing here. Hey, man, it was only 15 minutes. You got an hour for, what was that fucking trailer?
The one that's doing exceedingly well, Echo?
Hey, it was only 15 minutes of your time.
That's not true.
And you got an hour.
It was like 40 minutes of my time.
How?
We came, we sat, we talked, we filmed, we talked some more. I drove
was
here.
He counts friendships. I don't have any real friends. Mars 8 Productions.
He counts friendship.
Mars 8 Productions. Jesus, man. Thank you for your moment of silence.
I was actually counting the drive, which is funnier because that's the idea that, like, Greg, I'm on the clock.
I'm on the clock once I leave. That's what everyone who goes to work does.
Every moment.
I don't get paid for my driving to my 5 o'clock hour
Jeff
traffic.
Bezos, you deal with me in San Francisco and you pay me accordingly.
Rick Alt, how's it going, buddy? Any ideas what the actual plot of Secret Wars will be? Besides the vague concept of worlds colliding, battle world chemistry, or the universe, or is that just what the whole movie would be? Koi, what is your plot pitch for Secret Wars?
The events of Deadpool 3 cause the universe to realize that other universes are colliding and that the only way to stop it is to ending those other universes. I think there's going to be a bit of a prime timeline element introduced slowly through that in Kang Dynasty. I think by the time we get to Kang Dynasty, we realize how much power Kang has if they still go with that route. We realize that Kang is able to conquer all time and he's able to, like, solve all of his problems by eliminating any threats. So we have to, by the end of Kang, have a more powerful entity than Kang. I imagine that's going to be Doom. Then we're going to have basically Secret Wars being, how do you deal with a multiversal threat when your multiverses are colliding? So it's the combined might of all the universes we've met so far, Sony, Fox, Marvel, Marvel TV, every Marvel universe we've ever had being an element that all have to combine forces, even though some of that will mean sacrifice for them, and some of those universes will die in order to take out this entity Doom, and that'll all take place on Battleworld, a world that Doom basically runs, and with the events of that, we get a prime timeline universally, and that eliminates messes of continuity, allowing for Feige and co to handpick characters, and at the end of that, introducing X-Men and Fantastic Four going forward.
What's a hill? That's great. That was a great call. Okay. Oh, we're almost done, guys. Jahaziel Para. All right, here we go. I got a couple from you, my friend. Thank you for it. Keep one of the other goes. Grounded stories like Joker, Logan, Daredevil, the Batman, or big crazy teams like Civil War, Endgame, No Way Home, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Grounded stories, man. You've listed better movies. You have. Logan is I think Logan is probably one of my top 5 favorites of the comic book ones.
I mean, I think that team-ups...
You don't like Logan?
No, I do. I just think team-ups are a different animal. It's like, do you want pizza or do you want a salad? Do you want a burger? Do you want a, you know what I mean? Hot dog.
Always a pizza.
I shouldn't put pizza with salad. Pizza or burger. Like, depends on your mood. So I don't think it's fair to... I prefer smaller, grounded things, but I wouldn't want my No Way Home small and grounded. It had small and grounded, intimate moments, but you still need the spectacle of a reason why you'd have the 3 Spider-Men. So I feel like they're different animals, but I generally prefer the grounded overall because I prefer street-level characters to cosmic, but I think every story merits a different tone. So I like Deadpool 1 2 letter grades more than Deadpool 2. Deadpool 1 is like an A bordering on A+ for me, whereas Deadpool 2 is like a B-.
Pregnant?
Me too.
Wait. she being serious? Is she fucking with me?
I don't know, but this is a funny way to find out if
This
it's
would be
true.
a crazy way to find out.
Either she's trolling you at an 11,
This would be an insane way to find
or
out.
she realizes that this would be the reaction.
I mean, like, there's a window I could leave out through here.
I love that no matter which direction it is, I'm so proud of Olivia. All I have is love for this choice.
Okay, there's a window here. I could hop out this way.
It's trolling.
Shut the channel down.
or
if I
a
could
reaction.
just get the camera, bring it, then be like,
And then you can record reactions of you on the run.
Yeah, this is yeah.
Olivia, genius. No matter what, genius.
Woman, get in here.
Congratulations, Greg. It's gone up to the chat.
Well, get in here,
this
woman.
Is so good.
Is this real?
I'm so happy.
Because this would be a fucking
This is the
insane way to find out.
But it's also an insane
It'd
way
be-
to
it'd be
get
the
you
most
out of
fucked
this.
up thing in
It's
the
also
world
so insane
to honestly do.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm only
never
live
been happier to be on
streaming.
a live stream.
I'm only live streaming to get out of helping my wife.
This is so funny. I can't. I got nothing.
Sorry. Look,
Daddy
if we have a
Greg.
baby coming our way, I gotta honor the super chats.
Oh, this is the
That's
best.
gonna help take care of the
this
baby.
is so good. That $500 super chat's going a lot farther than we thought.
Netflix is Daredevil rounding you down to 2 hours today. Netflix is Daredevil.
It's my baby shower gift. What baby names you got in mind?
Catch. As an overall MCU season 3 for me was peak, and I don't believe the MCU will top it. Well, I agree, man. It's going to be hard for them to top Daredevil. I'm focusing on your super chats.
Yeah, we're gonna get through them. I agree. Season 3 is pretty peak, but I think season 1 is a little bit more my jam, and season 2 is my favorite of them. So it's 2, 1, 3, and it is hard to top Daredevil's
I
greatness.
thought she had her whatever. Mike Sanchez, do you think season 2 of Loki is better?
The thing that makes season 1 work is that it sticks the landing. Like,
Are
other
you
MCU shows do.
joking?
This is so
Can you just come in here?
funny to me. This is amazing. I already thought Olivia was great. Now she's transcending. She's at another level.
Do you think season 2 of Loki is better than 1? No.
I think season 1 is better, and if this sticks the landing like 1 did, it might be. But episode 2 and a few other little foibles don't quite stick for me. I think the directing might be better because there's some great directing, but.
Jacob Hannafin, thanks for the super chat.
Just overwhelmed right now. This is.
Are you joking? She's fucking joking. Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't even smoke.
I
I've
was
got a
like-
smoker's cough.
I was
Oh man, she just opened the door and rubbed her belly.
You know her. If you know her, if you know it could go either
it
fucking
really
way.
could have been
It
the
could go.
funniest.
It could go like she could actually be.
Because you know
Or she could
she
be
would screenshot it and have that if she
You know-
did that, she would record this as having proof of your
she
reaction.
would totally,
She would
yeah.
keep that forever that you kept on this stream with her pregnant without.
You would know
Oh, this
1,000% like if she could be joking or
She
she could
literally opened the door and rubbed her belly
Yeah.
before deciding to tell him it wasn't true.
Oh God.
Oh, that was those 5 minutes will live on in my heart forever.
Jacob Hannafin.
That was amazing.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Congratulations, you're not the father.
I mean, I would have done. I would have been like,
been a
all
great
right, let's
dad."
do it.
Man,
But
little
fuck,
John
that was
Alba would have been
nerve-wracking.
so cute.
Yeah, that's what we call him. John Coy Alba, get over here.
John Coy Roxy Alba.
John Coy. We're not gonna call her Roxy. John Coy Alba, get over here.
Oh man, full name when you're mad at him.
Ooh,
All right,
boy.
that was so good, Olivia.
Jacob Edfin. Hey guys, big
Hi,
fan.
Art.
Love Loki. So far, I got an off-topic question about Ben Reilly. Do you think Sony should make a live-action movie about him? Nah, I don't think it'll work.
Ben Reilly to me is like an existential crisis as a character. I don't think that Tom wants to play the character that dark yet. I think we need a lot more Tom Holland in solo stories and more contained, like small town stuff. But I would love one day to see a Clone Saga. I just don't think that now's the time.
First thing I'm gonna teach my baby. This is how you do Chinese.
Yep, it's gonna grow up in a very
This is
welcoming
how
world.
you be a black guy.
A welcoming world is coming to that baby. He is gonna be loved.
Now I'm Latino, man.
I'm just.
Are you from? Are you? It's gonna be a great baby, man.
It's gonna be a great baby. Like it's an item you can drink. It'd be a great baby.
It's a koi. That's hilarious. That's so funny.
It's a koi.
Olenti. Olentai.
Oh man, is this our final one?
Hello. Hello there. I think it's our final one, yeah. If Majors, now the chat's disappointed. Jeez, I'm fucking I wanted you to just suddenly be dealt a brand new responsibility.
I was ready for 18 years of stress on this
off of
channel.
your no sleep life that you currently have.
You're already so rested.
Admiral.
Greg doesn't have enough responsibility. Why does she have that
if
baby?
it happens, I would totally. I'm
you'd be
declaring
a
it right
great dad.
now. I would. I will do it. I've told her that too. I'm like, hey, if you happen to get pregnant, we're fucking doing it.
Yeah, they're great, Dad. I totally see you popping up, but man.
I'm always like, but we need to be doing it more. And then she's like, never mind. And I'm like, that's understandable.
And now it's going to be even longer.
If Majors doesn't stay in the King role, I'm sorry, you're gonna buy me 20 minutes. Thank you, my friend. You're a really kind guy. If Majors doesn't stay in the King role, do you prefer to scrap the plan, start for the character, and go in her direction, or recast and stay the course? What do you think, Coy?
I think you
I
can
can't
recast.
focus now.
I know, it's fair. You just went through a pregnancy. I would go with a recast personally. I think that Jonathan Majors is an incredible actor. I think one of the strengths of the character is that you can play it so multifaceted. You'd have to have an incredible actor, but I think they've set up too much around the character to just scrap it. Like, there's no way to just go, nope, didn't happen at this point in the game. But
Nope.
the actor would have to be as incredible as Jonathan Majors, which is which is quite the tall order.
Yeah, man.
Because that's the point of the character, is that it's one actor playing.
Just get
such a-
Don Cheadle, man.
She's ready as both characters, multiversally.
All right, we'll round you up to 3.5.
That was so funny. Like, that was just gold.
All right, Coy, we got one last.
We got one more? All right.
Let's see here.
There's two more.
That's a quick roundup.
Okay, let's get it.
Quick roundup here.
Next time, baby.
Next time, baby. That's funny. That's so funny.
Speaking of Don Cheadle versus
that's
Terrence
hilarious.
Howard.
That's
Nicely
so funny.
done.
That is so fucking funny.
Oh, man.
Gamer MJ, Goy, did you play Spider-Man 2 yet? He has not. Personally, it's game of the year for me. I completely got all the trophies in 3 days. God damn.
Wow, Gamer.
Completely, I get what you did on the channel. Streamline links take you to your own personal dashboard. Have to Google it. Oh, that fucking sucks.
Also, Gamer MJ, you live up to your name. Excellent work. That's
Thank you.
incredible.
I appreciate you for understanding, especially for being a gamer. Thank you. Do you think Gareth Edwards should direct a Marvel movie? Gareth Edwards is the creator one.
Okay.
If so, what one? He absolutely killed it with the creator, as stated here. Also with Insomniac. Spider-Man be on Miguel's side and at the Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man is my all-time favorite character. No Way Home used to be my all-time fave till Across the Spider-Verse.
Beautiful. I loved Across the Spider-Verse as well. No Way Home is still... I keep live action like MCU. I don't put Sony's universe into the MCU yet because it's not quite yet, but it's getting there. That said, those are two of my 5-star films. I would say Gareth Edwards, with his resume, would do really well with a big scope craziness. So I would say something of scale. I think he'd make an interesting Thor because they're looking for a Thor director. I think Thor 5 with like something biblical in scope, like something that's just enormous fighting Thor. Like you actually get something that feels like back to the Hela scale, you know, something like huge, like maybe Baldur comes back. Maybe it's I would love, to be honest, what I would love Thor 5 to be is him accepting that Ragnarok isn't complete because in mythology, Ragnarok isn't over until Thor is dead, and Thor sacrificing himself for a universe reboot, and that ties into Secret Wars. I think it'd be really interesting if Thor 5 ties into Secret Wars and the universe, including Incursions, can't reset, because there's so much afterlife stuff tied into the universe right now. We've got the Miss Marvel afterlife, we've got the Field of Reeds, we've got all the stuff with the Egyptians, we've got so many afterlives. It'd be cool if Thor dying was allowing the Ragnarok to take place and all the universes resetting, tying into Secret Wars. So I'd make a big biblical creator-esque Thor 5.
Wow, if they got Terrence Howard for Kang, who would not be curious to see
so
that?
Funny.
Why would you not be curious?
Oh, that's
and
good.
then you could like have some weird tie-in of how he like affected
that's
the first episode, right?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, I would cast Yaya personally.
All right, guys, let's see how many people we actually, after 3.5 hours or close to, how many people did we end with here? 690 still.
Wow. That's
damn,
crazy.
that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Thank you, guys. That's really, really sweet of you guys. Thank you. That means a lot.
700 people still in after 3.5 hours of absurdity.
That's fucking wild, dude.
That's truly special. Thank you. And concurrents are strong.
All righty, guys. Well, we're going to end this stream now. I got to go help out my not pregnant wife.
That was the best. Like
Coy and I have different workout routines, you know. Like
he can touch his toes and kick like a motherfucker. So I don't think I can compare.
Yeah, man. Like you're mainly focused on weightlifting. Right?
Yeah, like I'm a bodybuild kind of guy because it's how I get my anger out.
I only weightlift 3 times a week. I've been doing martial arts punches, back into that, but I do weighted to get some tone, typing in the triceps.
Yeah. His triceps crazy. I do 5 days weights, whereas Greg does 3.
So I have like a tone bicep, but you got like bulk, you got mass on you.
Yeah, like I build.
Yeah.
And I do cardio like once a week, whereas Greg's always like
doing
changing
like
his routine.
2 to 3 times. I do cardio at the gym once a week. I walk with a weighted vest to get some resistance in.
Nice.
Like
long walks or timed walks?
Hike,
oh, okay, got it.
And the other day I went on a run for the first time in a long time. But I think because I've been doing like weighted vest walking, I'm able to run better.
It totally builds cardiovascular, yeah.
In my
It's
knees, I was
the
like,
Goku thing.
I'm running faster, even though I haven't ran in months. But I'm
Piccolo
like,
technique.
Yeah.
You take off the big weighted cape.
I ran like almost 3 miles without music because my headphones weren't working, and I was like, I've never been able to fucking do this before.
I don't have that in me.
I was like, I don't know. I fucking pulled. I was very stressed that day.
Meditation.
What was There was something that happened that day that stressed me out
Found like you were
so
a father.
much. Yeah, I was so stressed that I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going on a run." And
I haven't ran in a bit, and I need to. My cardio's been like in the house, so I need to get better.
I wish this were true. Otherwise, wouldn't be running without music.
That's true. Here we are. Man, that was a good stream. That was a favorite stream.
That was a really fun time, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I just messed up the dimensions, I bet, of this.
Of everything.
But let's get a couple of final. Oh, I can't just like bring this back to what it was.
Big D with some love. Artha, hello.
Let me adjust this.
G. Colby P. Kevin Hart as Kang is hilarious to me. The Doomers had a fun time. AG and King agreed he would be a great dad. Papa Greg doing the work. Just we don't have to worry about it in the next 9 months from today. At this point, maybe 9 months from tomorrow.
I am truthfully scared as fuck to be a dad, but
I want to be a dad so bad.
Who I am now, the person I am now, I feel like I've become in the last couple of years. I feel like if the time comes for it, I would gladly rise to the occasion, and I feel like I do a good job. I just know me too well enough to know, like, I'm putting my all into this, and everything I do, that child's gonna mirror me in every fucking way. So I gotta be really fucking aware.
I have to be good so they can be good. It's on me.
They're gonna everything they're gonna learn from me. I gotta be more influential than when they're going to school. So
yeah,
it's gonna be so aware of every bit of psychology.
Worth it. I think it'd be great.
But yeah, guys, round of goodbyes here before we head out. Round of quick goodbyes. Oh my God, that
Pop PV, Maria, Chase Gardner, Christian Unpronounceable, Big D.
Big D, Dan B900. Thank you to everyone who contributed to our super chats. It goes a long way. Thank you to Coy, of course, for being here. Next time, probably be Coy and John. Thank you to everyone who contributed to our stream labs. And if you didn't contribute, that's A-OK. Just appreciate you chiming in on the live stream. I really do love doing live streams. I gladly live stream for hours versus editing for hours, even though there's one I do every day for hours.
That's why this is preferable.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much. And really, if you ever see us in person, please come say hi. And if we do a live event in person, we'll be sure to let you know. Might record it, might live stream it. Probably our live events, we haven't recorded putting them up, which
people don't know how great and weird they are.
Yeah, they're
chaotically great. Yeah,
they're very different and they're very interactive, and I think people would really enjoy them. And
it's an actual dialogue, which I love.
As I know what it's like to be in the audience and kind of wish what I was watching, and then I like to kind of bring that. I really hope, and I think we're all so loose and don't give a shit.
Yeah, we literally bring out like mics to the like it's crazy.
At Comic-Con, John went outside and chased someone outside.
No way!
He's like, "Come watch our panel." So funny.
Yeah, it was great. Let's do more.
It was really fucking funny. Judah Miller, thanks for that last minute sticker. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for everything. Much love, Greg. You fat. What a terrible way to end this stream.
I shouted him out. Also, Greg's not. I promise. I've gained more weight in the last 2 weeks than Greg, or 2 months actually.
That tone.
That's true. Look at that. That's insane, dude. So much better vascularity and tone. That's bananas. You've actually got that tendon going down to
I'm getting my forearms because of you.
That helps.
I got it before I didn't have forearms.
Yeah, but you get those little brachials. Man, brachial makes the whole arm look better.
Yeah, like I
little,
see it here.
Like, I haven't had that
until like the last month.
No way. So it really did help that much. That's rad.
Yeah, like right there.
Flex
that there. I never used to have this.
Yeah, that's literally from like the hammer curls and stuff.
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, I need to kind of fucking do this.
Then adjust that. Yeah. But now like when you do, your biceps look bigger because your triceps are bigger. But then that rounds your arms out so you don't look weird in t-shirts.
Been doing these now.
Your little forearm curls.
Anyway,
are you doing the triceps?
We always end our streams with like
with some flexing.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie Horton, for everything. Oh, thank you for the last minute one. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Stephanie. That's really. And I know you're also one of our patrons. Thank you. Alrighty, guys. See. Okay, I'm leaving.
She's actually there.
You shouldn't have said.
She's actually
you
there.
shouldn't have said you weren't pregnant. Otherwise.
I did no
Guys,
such
give
thing.
it here so
I
you
did
get
no.
paid for
I
it.
spent